What are you doing here, Tyrus?
Oh what? A woman isn't allowed to use an all-seeing eye every now and again.
You are not a woman.
Man, woman, non-conforming, ideological, all-powerful, godlike being, what's the difference?
You haven't answered my question.
Oh right, the all-seeing creep eye. I'm watching Maisie. She's fascinating.
Why?
Well, you won't believe this, but she's lost her sister. All through a wild set of events. Basically, Maisie died, and then her parents sent some assbag to protect her and her sister. I think his name was Franklin. He's Neva's boyfriend or something. Anyway, they got fed up with him because he's an annoying prick, so the small one, that's a halfling or whatever, sent some bad guys after him. The juicy part is Maisie and the others don't even know. Well, Franklin was kidnapped, and then Maisie and the others went searching for him, and found him in a shop called the Lock and Key. There were some people in the way, as there always are, so they murdered them all. I'm especially proud of Maisie for that bit. They travelled through a genetic robot science lab thing, and then found Franklin. The only issue was that Franklin had been turned into a cyborg. Amazing, I know. So they had to fight him, but he teleported away and stole Neva. Then that stupid god-imitating prick, the Nightwalker, turned up and went all intimidation mode on them. I wasn't really paying attention for that bit. Anyway, they went home, saved a silly little girl from some bullies. I like her, she has chaos energy. And then made a plan. So currently, they have just teleported over to Tetheran in the Fluarian couple, and are in an airship to their hometown of Moonhaven to try and work out where Franklin has gone. So I guess they'll find him at his...
Do you ever stop talking?
Rude. You made me this way.
Can you please do the job I made you for?
Fine. But I'm not going to stop watching Maisie.
Fine.
You're currently all sitting on the bridge of the seamstress. Now, for anyone who particularly cares, I have, as I do, gone into far too much detail to tell you that the seamstress is a Perital. Remember how I have like brands of ship stuff. It's a Perital Voyage GE, which, of course, you'll be really interested to know has all sorts of details about it, having a ATL DS2 repellent levitation system as its hover engine. Its main engine is a 78 DP single crystal radiance aerosine engine. Its top speed is about 300 miles per hour because it's a light frame, and it goes north to 300 miles per hour in 4.3 seconds. But this is the GE, which is the Grand Edition, which has got a better interior as well as a subarconic stabilization system for a smoother ride. So anyway.
That one.
Did anyone actually understand that or listen to that?
What colour is it?
Car stuff. I believe I said it's like a wood, like a deep brown wooden color, very fancy.
Under the DBD&D / Dakota legality system, I would like to label discussions such as that as torture against me directly.
It's car stuff, it's car stuff. Anyway.
It seems like torture is
made for Rowyn to listen to only.
You were currently on the ship, blasting along at somewhere around 300 miles an hour towards your hometown.
But no more than 300 miles an hour, because that's the top speed.
Well,
it's still light frame.
Somewhere, exactly. See, someone was listening.
Just 300 or below.
Yeah. Yeah, you're just cruising along. I'm sure, usually, some of you are probably really enjoying this super fancy ride, especially Luna. This is crazy ridiculous.
I bloody love it.
You'll have been on nice airships before, but this is a different level. For most of it, Cromwell, you're probably just astounded that this kind of thing exists. And whilst you're sitting there, one of your little Talkstone phones goes off. Cromwell, your pocket is vibrating.
Wait, Cromwell has a Talkstone?
We've been through this.
You can't afford food, but you can afford a Talkstone.
I think we went through this
It
like
was given
weird,
to me.
yeah,
I don't pay for it.
exactly. So, but it's like an old model.
Yeah.
It's not good.
It doesn't.
Like a
It doesn't
Nokia
do.
flip phone.
Yeah, yeah.
It doesn't do holograms, and it barely texts. Is I believe.
Yeah.
The thing.
So anyway,
Oh, okay.
it is.
Does it tell me who is ringing me?
It does indeed. It's Captain Dell.
Oh. Okay.
Can you arrest somebody?
Yo.
Cromwell. Hello.
Hi.
Apologies to call at a late hour, but I'm confused.
I called you at a late hour, so
You're-
it's fine.
Well, your call last night. We went to where you said, and there was nobody there. I believe you mentioned something about angel fire at the end of your very rushed and chaotic message. We found traces of it remaining in the pond, so I believe that you were in danger. I wanted to call to make sure everything is okay.
Yeah. So I'm glad you called. I wanted to. Obviously, at the time, there wasn't too much to go over it. So we were, walking about the city as you do.
Mm-hmm.
And we were going through this square. Insert square here. And there was this group of well, to be honest, they kind of look like students. I think I've seen some of them around. They looked like a description of each of the characters here. And they were kicking the shit out of someone, but once they kind of caught sight of us, that person ran off. I didn't get a very good look at them, and I will kind of point at Luna to make sure they know that I'm talking about her and not giving a description of them. And so they saw us, and they clearly were like off their faces on something, right? And then the one of them was like, "Hey, you want to buy some fiery, spicy angel dust?" And I was like, "I don't know what that is. Is it angel fire?" And he was like, "Yeah, that's it." Because he was so off his face, he couldn't even name the thing. It was character in leather jackets description here. And so I was like, "Oh shit, these people are violent, they're off the face, and we don't want to get caught up in this." There was like a little fountain thing, like a little pondy thing, like near where we were. So maybe after we like scarpered, they tried to like dump it because they were paranoid if they saw me on the talkstone. Maybe they overheard me. But we just kind of scarpered. We tried to make sure that person that was getting the shit kicked out of them was all right. But then we ran off because, we didn't want there to be a misunderstanding with the people that you sent of thinking that we were the people with the angel stuff. So, yeah. Sorry that they weren't there by the time you got there.
Bold fucking move. Just lying bold-faced to the captain of a gun. Give me a deception.
That is 99.6% the truth.
Apart from them being off their face and, them being...
Yeah, that bit was a lie.
So
but
give me a deception.
That's the point 4.
give me a deception.
Dirty 20.
Does that add up to any more, or just... Yeah, no, of course it doesn't. Otherwise it'd be a natural 20. Wow, brain. You got to do better today. Come on.
I can add more if you'd like me to just pick a number.
Yeah, just give a number. Yeah, she pauses for a second. He's like, "Okay. Well, I'm glad you're okay. Not much we can do about if anyone was under the influence of angel fire without any kind of proof. Yes, there was angel fire in the pond, but
you can't test for that kind of thing? It won't be in like people's, I don't know, Can you test for that?
One of the very unfortunate parts of angel fire is when the effects wear off, the residual nature is almost untraceable.
I'll mentally connect to Maisie and be like, "You're in the clear for the angel fire stuff. No one will be able to know that you've had it."
Other than the
Okay.
long-lasting effects on the body.
I don't know.
Like I said,
I've not had it.
I'm glad you're okay. I would avoid... Did you say to her it was late at night?
Uh,
I don't think you did, actually.
well, it was her that I called.
Sure, of course you
so-
called me. I would avoid walking through the streets late at night. I would love to say that the streets of Volun are safe, but they are not these days, especially with the plague of drugs.
There's a whole plague? I thought it was just the one.
It is a very serious problem right now, especially in certain parts of the city.
Which parts? Just so we know, especially to avoid them.
Mostly over towards the east. The university and parts around are mostly okay. The richer sections on the west are okay. The southern areas, there's a lot of criminal activity there. So a lot of sale of drugs, less usage of drugs. But yes, the poorer areas on the east to southeast, there is a big problem.
Okay. Well, maybe, chip off the university or some guards and stuff about those people, because you might be able to follow them to get to whoever they get it from or something. But obviously, you got this tip anonymously, right?
Yes.
Great. Because, like I said, I think I recognize them. So if they're students, I don't want them to know that I know what they know.
I only called
And
because...
it's even better if they don't know that I know what they know, that I know that I've told you what you know is what I know.
I only called because I initially contacted the university to see if you were safe. I didn't want to interrupt you personally, but it was reported that you had not been seen, at least today, this evening. Obviously, they didn't know whether you were in your room or not, so I have called you personally. I'm glad you're okay.
Oh well, feel free to call me. In fact, I would prefer it for your peace of mind and mine, Captain Dell. Just call me before you contact the university next time. Just go direct to the source.
There are levels of professionalism that I must adhere to.
Didn't you hire us to distract one of your deputies so that you could steal something from your own police?
There are official levels that I must go through.
Oh, so this is an official call.
Yes.
Like I'm a CI.
No.
Oh, wow. That's a shame. But it is confidential, right?
Yes.
Great.
I have things to be getting on with, but if you want to discuss further helping, come see me at some point. You and
What kind of help?
the crew. This is an official phone call. I will contact you in the future, or you shall come see me in person at some point if you feel you want to discuss matters.
Well, just so I can put it to the group, and so I know where to rank it in our priorities, would this be paid help or more volunteer basis?
This is official phone call, and I must tell you that phone calls such as these nature are recorded for review purposes.
Who's reviewing it? You've said my name. And
Internal
what we were talking
review.
about. No. Oh, but I've also said the thing that you did, so you're going to make sure that no one... Okay, I understand. I'm winking, right? You can't see it because I have a cheap...
I'm hanging up
I'm
now.
winking. Okay. Bye, Captain.
Goodbye.
Lovely to speak to you. Guys, you'll never guess what. Maisie is going to have horrible, debilitating long-term effects on her body because she had some illegal drugs. But they won't know in the short term that you've had them, and they can't test you for it.
Okay.
I didn't know you were that type of girl.
Those people who were
Wasn't
beating
their
you up
choice.
had scarpeds by the time the police got there.
Nice
But now
guys.
they have their descriptions and they might get, like, I don't know, implicated in something else. It's hard to say. And the captain wants to hire, not you, Luna, but the rest of us for a job. She was very cagey on whether it was paid, but my assumption is that it is paid.
Why not me?
Because she doesn't know who you are. You haven't done any work for us before. And she doesn't know that our other friend is
But
missing.
you guys will vouch for me, right?
Oh yeah.
Well,
Absolutely.
we're going to see how you do in this. I'm still not. You still have been very cagey about what it is that you bring to the table in this.
I bring myself to the table. That's all you need to know.
That's not reassuring. We'll see how you do. But my assumption is that once we get our friend back, she might not like you. You might hate her. Both of those things are easily possible.
Very true.
So,
Anyway, who would hate me? Everyone loves me.
you haven't met Neva. She hates easily and passionately. Isn't that right, Maisie?
Only the one person so far.
Exactly.
who
Easily
was that?
and passionately.
I would like to say.
No. Who does she hate? I love gossip.
The
Tell me.
conversation is interrupted by Maisie's phone ringing.
Oh, sorry, I gotta take this.
That was super convenient that they didn't ring at the same time. Otherwise, we would have just been
Man, if I could do,
cross-talking
if I
about the
could do
whole
two
thing.
conversations at the same time, I'd be a much better DM.
I
And a much
don't know
worse
where we
DM.
are right now, but if we're like on deck, I'll go below deck, and if not, I'll go above deck.
Yeah, these sort of bridge. I don't know if you call it on a much smaller one is sort of on an upper bit, because I say it's a small boat. It's still one of these like fairly large yachts. So they're at the upper bit. You're in sort of like a middle deck, which is a nice little lounge area, sort of panoramic view out the front of the sky at this point, but you can kind of see over. And there is a lower bit, which there's a lot of like storage stuff down there, and then also some sleeping areas and beds if you did overnight trips. And then there's a bit out at the front and the back, which are both sort of open air if you needed or wanted it.
Oh, I'll go out like the open air bit out in the back then.
It's a strange thing standing here. Not for you, you've been here before, but not this exact one, but for anyone else, you see clouds and birds and animals on the ground just whizzing past, and yet you don't really feel any wind. There's a bit of a breeze, a nice cool breeze, but not the expected you'd get flying off the back of the boat kind of a breeze. You look down at your phone, which is currently playing music from the Butt Crack of Chaos, and it's your mother.
I'll pick it up.
Pick up. You press the button, and at first, just silence.
Yep, I don't say hi. She doesn't say hi. I just.
There's a few seconds before there's just like oh for goodness, and then a little scuffle, and then Bailey.
Hi. Dad, why are you calling from Mom's phone?
I appear to have butt dialed. My apologies.
I'm not. She phoned and didn't want to. It doesn't matter. We just have a few small questions about some charges coming through on nothing to particularly, of course, worry about as long as we understand what was going on. But just we wanted to question and then there's just another scuffle, like, oh, for goodness sake. Maisie, please explain why 1,000 gold, more than 1,000 gold, has been taken from the family card under your name.
Okay, yeah, sure. So you know how Neva and I called you the other day saying Franklin's been taken, and we're a little bit worried about that. Well, she was a little bit worried about that. Well, since nobody decided to help, we went and looked into it ourselves, and now Neva's been taken by Franklin. And knowing that no one would believe us, we're on a little trip to go get her back from her psycho cyborg boyfriend. I figured you could probably overlook that charge.
There is no way that I'm going to believe these bold-faced lies coming from you. I have had a conversation with Franklin.
I guess we'll talk about it later then.
I have had a conversation with Franklin. I have had a conversation with Neva.
What?
Yesterday. So if you want to keep coming forwards and lying to us about spending 1,440 gold without asking
Wait, what
first,
time yesterday?
I don't know the exact... This is not the point. You are cut off from the card. And indefinitely until we decide what's happening. I want you to
Okay, but like,
come
what
home,
did they say?
and we will talk about this in person.
What did they say?
We're not in control of this conversation. It does not matter what they say. It only matters that I know you are lying. Fun fact about the amount you spent: 1,200 gold is about 10 years of an average Vaylunan salary. Just thought you'd be
Not
interested.
important right now.
So, you keep cruising along. I'm sure you go back into. Do you show it on your face? Are you trying to show any kind of emotion as you walk back to everyone else, or you're not going back to everyone else?
Oh no, I'd go back up and say, change of plans, we're going to my house, unfortunately.
Awesome. So what was that music playing on your little stone?
It's my band, but like I'm really not in the mood to talk about it right now.
Fair. But when you do, I quite liked it.
I don't want to go to your house. Can we stick to the original plan?
I would love to.
I'd love to see their house.
But apparently
the parents yet.
Apparently, Neva and Franklin called my mother yesterday.
How could they have done that yesterday?
Exactly.
Surely that confirms your house is like one of the few places we can cross off the list of where they aren't. Because they wouldn't have called if they were there.
But right now we're just operating on like the loosest thing of a lead. They have like actual information.
And they wouldn't give it to you on the phone?
Oh, yeah, she's not. You know how my mom is. She's not willing to listen. So we may have to kick her ass.
So like your parents shit sticks or something?
Yeah, they suck. Well, mostly my mom, but my dad is like compliant at the very
I'm
least.
not gonna kick your parents' ass now in their manner with guards and probably the local police in their pocket.
It may be fun.
Well, I've broken into their room at night. We could wait till night and like.
I was gonna say I'm more surprised that you don't want to go
too
so we can find out what kind of alien you are.
Wait, you're an alien?
Well,
Yeah, something like that. They've already like put a hard line on that conversation. So, well,
This group's weird.
no, I didn't actually talk to them.
You're
about
telling
it,
me.
I love it. It's awesome. I mean,
It's
come on, you're
horrendous.
amazing. Maisie, you're amazing. Jay, you're amazing.
Thank you.
There's also.
Cal, you're good.
I was gonna say,
That's pretty kind.
speaking of Cal, maybe it's not a good idea for you to go, seeing as they still blame you for the death of this one.
Wait,
Yeah,
you
but-
killed her?
No,
He was
didn't
implicated
actually
in her
kill
murder.
I was there when I
Oh
saw
my
her
god.
there when
Wait,
she
but
died.
she's alive.
Yeah, she got better.
Yeah,
Oh
she
my
is
god.
now.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Did you do the thing? Where you just randomly popped back alive in the morning?
No, this
what?
involved ordinary, standard, boring old magic, I'm afraid.
And a lot of money.
And a lot of money, yes. In fact,
I'm
I
gonna
told all my-
Loaded.
I'm gonna go breathe for a second. Maybe walk out.
Wait, you were holding your breath the whole time?
Maisie, as you
Cal,
continue.
I was gonna say, Cal, how are you feeling about going to the place of the people who hate you the most on this earth? Sorry,
that's
on
okay,
this
no.
Luna, on this gel, even.
I'm sure they got over it by now. Anyway, I wouldn't mind having a chat with them. They seem quite nice people, and they were stressed when they saw them. That's what it was.
That's just... Cal, you're so smart. How can you be so wrong?
Let's just say I look for the good in people.
Do you find it very often?
Less often than I'd like, to be honest. But
I doubt
shouldn't
it.
stop you looking. But look at all of us here. We are a sort of motley crowd, but we've all got good aspects to us, haven't we?
Yeah.
You see, everyone has their good side. You just have to be patient.
Yeah, my good side's my left side, because I mean, like, if I go on my right side, my eyes are a bit droopy this side. I'm not really that keen on it.
I didn't like to mention it.
Oh yeah, no, I totally know about it. It's only slightly. I'm surprised you picked it up, but I mean, I can see it in all the portraits. Either that, or my
it's the
parents have
angle.
got really bad, like, artists.
I think this is my good side, because my other side is...
I don't know, your backside's quite nice.
Not what I was talking about. I was talking about, when I...
Oh no,
yes,
no,
yes.
you're awesome when you do that. Like, you are totally awesome. Like, you are the baddest of the bad.
Yeah.
Right, so you're saying her good side is bad, is that right? I'm a bit confused.
Yeah, but bad in a good sense.
Ah, so it's badly goodly bad?
I'm just going to presume this is some kind of Velunan slang.
I don't know what it is. Lost in translation? You're probably right there, yes.
I don't know. I'm not exactly Velunan, but I am Velunan. It's a long story.
I think that bad can be good. Just
yeah,
depends on
bad
what
can
kind
be
of bad
good.
thing it is.
Exactly.
And who you do it to.
Yes.
Definitely.
Broadly, I would say bad is bad. But there are
Uh,
times when you have to sort of stretch the definition a little bit, I suppose.
So what are we going to do about taking Cal to the house of the people who despise him and might frame him and throw him in jail now that he's outside of the safety net of Veluna?
Is it worth...
I think it'd be awesome taking him to the house, and if they try and frame him, we'll kill them. Sorry, Maisie, I know they're your parents.
That's a great idea.
Oh my god, you
Oh,
like
I'm
that
not
idea.
there. I'm not
Awesome.
there. I'm not there.
Oh yeah, you're not, are you?
I'm thinking it might be best that we talk to Bash first, seeing as, he went ahead and he's got Maisie's friends there.
Yeah,
At
I
least
guess.
talk to them first, because they were supposed to be looking at the area. I don't know. It seems like a terrible idea to go to the house, but I can understand why.
I think it's an awesome idea. I'd love
I
to
think
see
it's
that.
a horrendous idea.
I can see why Maisie might want to go. Maybe alone. It's not like she's going to be in danger or anything.
But Maisie knows Bash well, and I think that's a good point that Bash has already gone back. So that's because it'd be a shame to go all the way there and find this. We are actually on the right track over here. It's a long way, and we don't lose time.
We're going to have Bash
But
go
if
along
Maisie knows
first.
Bash, then surely Bash knows his Maisie's parents. So why can't Bash just tell them the truth?
Exactly.
Well, if they'll believe it, but we could also just call it Lucy and have her go along.
How's this
Call
for a
who?
plan?
Bash's sister.
We call Bash.
Ah.
Bash tries to see if there's some way to locate where the call was made from by Piss Drinker.
Who's
Luna,
this drinker?
you head to your family,
Don't go
see if they
there.
can use their connections to find out, what might be happening, and also to whip up a little bit of money if the parents are being stingy, because it was their money that we used to get on this ship.
Wait, what did you want me to do?
You should immediately head back to Elesduin before the vengeance of Maisie's parents comes to find you. I will go to Courtier to see if Piss Drinker and Neva are there, and Maisie can go to her parents' house.
So your whole idea is we all split up.
Yes,
Go
I
all
think
over the world.
that's for the best at this point.
And I think somewhere in that you wanted me to use my family's money for stuff.
Also wanted to point out that we've got a raving bonkers
Oh, Jay,
cybernetic
you should
man.
go back to royalty in Cougar.
Don't have royalty, I am orphan.
Oh my god, you're royal!
I'm not royal, please don't
I
start
will
this.
Just like you.
curtsy.
If you curtsy again, I will turn into a wolf and a jackal and rip your face off. Listen, you want us to separate
Curtsies
whilst there
again.
is a... You want us... You see like a genuine twitch in her face. You want us to split up when there is a cyborg who can teleport around the fucking world, who could easily take any of us out individually, just able to pop up on our doorstep and kill us.
That's the
Yeah, but
beauty
surely
of
how
it,
would
you
he know?
see.
For
Each
one,
of us
I
will
can
create-
disappear because he doesn't know who I am.
While they're
Each of us
talking-
will create a new group of friends with which to combat him with.
Alright, Cromwell's
And then
leaving, the rest
in
of us
about-
aren't.
After about 3 to 4 single movie adventures, we'll all come back together. And it'll be, there'll be portals opening left and right, and we'll all come in at the last minute. And
See, Joe, you're making a bit of a mistake here. We need to split up all those stories once we start making a bunch of money, because then we can extort the system to make a bunch more money.
yeah.
I feel like splitting it up first works better.
Origin stories.
No.
Mhm.
While this
Anyway.
conversation is going on, Cal would be sort of like, I'm fine, and he'd walk out and try and find Maisie.
Well, as you're about to, you'd stand up and look out the window. Maybe you'd see this over the bow. And you'd see, after this long 6-hour journey, in the darkness of a very late evening, you'd be chasing the sun a little bit, but the suns would have still gone down by now. You can see the lights of a small town appearing on the horizon, which you can presume is Moonhaven. Maisie, you'd recognize your hometown, of course. I don't know if it would fill you with anxiety or happiness, glee, hatred, everything at the same time. But you're certainly getting there. You can see that the town, the light distribution of the town from this distance shows there's definitely a denser population towards the center than around the edges. And then there's some outer buildings, much bigger outer buildings, some mansions and stuff. You've been told before that, Maisie's and Neva's family lives sort of on the outskirts in a big house. So there's a bit of an odd spread as it goes outwards, but in the night sky, it looks beautiful. There's definitely a town center where from this distance it's hard to tell, but there's like a little more shimmering of lights, presumably movements of people. But yeah, it's actually a very pretty sight. You've got Veluna, which you've left from, and even Tetheran, which they're so busy and dense and compact that you don't really get like a pretty sight. It's just like a blur in the distance, whereas this has this separation and beauty. And as you're getting closer, Maisie, it would be you. One of the staff comes to you on the rear decking and asks where in Moonhaven you would like to land. The ship doesn't have a teleportation circle. It's not large enough for that. So the choices are the rivers, sort of just outside of town, or if you can get permission, the airship yard that is owned by your parents or the Montgomery Cartwright business.
Let's just land by the river.
We're in the town. The northernmost river is actually sort of in the center, isn't it? And the warehouse that you have sent Bash to is up north. So let me just bring up the map actually, so I can give. So if you're going for rivers, your choices, even though you're the one that sent me this map. Actually, no, I have lied. There is a river that comes in from the north. So you could definitely go up there and be fairly close to the warehouse, if you wish to.
Sure, let's go up there.
Cool. So the rest of you see these lights in the distance, and the ship goes down. You can hear everything sort of powering down slightly. The hum of the engine changes as you get start approaching the river, kind of like a runway, sort of floating left and right a little bit before, rather gently. Quite an easy little. You've got this suspension system. You just touch the water and glide to a nice, careful stop. Just down this fairly wide river. You can still hear a hum as though the levitation engines are still keeping you steady. And the captain comes through to all of you that are still in the lounging area and just says, "All right, we have arrived at our destination. There is a ramp to get off the ship. If there's anything else you need, just before you go, we can try to help and provide. Obviously, you have not booked to go back, so we will be leaving almost immediately onto our next adventure. But hopefully you had a good journey with little problems."
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
The little anchovy things, salted anchovy things that were in the little bowls, where did you get those? They were great.
They are a fairly common recipe from Tetheran. A little more on the high-end side, some ingredients. The salt is very specially curated from, I don't know the exact recipe, I'm afraid, but from a few different animals. It's sea salt that's processed effectively, which gives it that
Salt
extra
is from animals?
Well, you get a little bit from the fish itself, but then there's just like a mixture of all sorts of things. So it's, as far as I can tell, quite complex, but it gives it that rich flavor that you're enjoying there.
Yeah, before I knew it was from animal sweat.
It's not animal sweat. I don't know exactly. Point is, if you wanted to get some more of that, you can try and find a restaurant that does Tetheranian food, but most likely just go back to the city.
Okay. We'll see ya.
You're welcome to take a few.
I will, yeah. I'll take as many as...
It's just like a bowl thing there. You're just like, I'll take the bowl.
Is it a nice crystal cut bowl?
No, it's one of those modern steel bowls that's kind of boring and lacking any kind of style, but that's supposed
No, the fact that it's steel is the important bit.
Well, it's metal.
Steel bowl adding to the inventory.
It's metal.
You said steel.
Well, He said he didn't say steal. Whatever. Fuck, it's not steal.
Bowl.
It's a stolen bowl, is what it is.
He's letting me walk off with it.
Yeah, it's not stolen. You did pay a lot for this trip. Anyway,
As I'm walking off the boat, can I be texting the Buttcrack of Chaos group chat that I asked to meet up with Bash and help him out? Just say, did you meet up with Bash? Any progress?
yeah, there's a good number of thumbs up to you saying, did you meet up? And they say, there's some information. We're still at the airship yard. It says something like half misspelt. That's just like inside building storage plus.
Okay.
Hey Maisie, does your town have a magic shop?
Probably. Never really had a reason to look for one, but I mean, it's going to be overpriced for sure.
I just thought it might be worth a look.
Probably not. My band met up with Bash. They said they're in one of the warehouses by a storage plaques.
Wait, you're telling me I get to meet the whole band?
Maybe a place, but
Yeah.
misspelled. I'm not sure how you'd store something within a fish, though. A place isn't a very large kind of fish.
What are you on about?
I don't know.
Doesn't matter. Have you told them the update to the news and the plan? Because they were expecting us to meet them there.
No, I'm figure we should meet there first, and then if they don't have anything, move on. Since
So there's no
it's right here.
timeline for getting to your parents.
No. They're
Okay,
going
great.
to be in the same mood no matter when I arrive. So
Sure. Lead the way.
You say lead the way, and I'm sure Maisie points, because from where you are to the west, you can see, even though it's miles away, what has to be the biggest building you have ever seen. Bigger than any of the buildings that are at the university, bigger than like the library. It's just a big rectangle as far as you can tell. Just this gigantic warehouse. You could be convinced it's as big as like a small mountain. Probably not actually that big, but it's just like, as I've said, the largest thing you've ever seen. That's the direction you're going.
then away we go.
It takes 20, 30 minutes to walk over there, maybe a bit longer. And it's one of those sites where it just doesn't seem to change size, and then eventually you're there, and it's just I don't know, like you can't see like the left and the right hand sides of it as you're standing. Also, to say the two sides that would be the sides as you stare out the one wall. You can see from one of the sides every now and again, like the tips of airships pointing out, and as you were walking over, you saw different airships come in and one leave from the other side. None of you really know anything about airships, none of the characters. Does Luna know much about airships and all that kind of stuff?
Highly doubt it.
Fine. In which case, you'd see most of the ships just look like they're not particularly fancy kind of workhorse truck style things. It's obviously massive cargo ships. Maisie, you'd probably know the company name because it would come up all the time. It's Temple. But they're not particularly special. But over to the side, in like a little localized area, there are a few very, very fancy ships. This is like the personal area or the more fancy transport area. In fact, you'd recognize one of the ships as the Emperor, the one that you took on Neva's assignment. Just this beautiful white ship. They're all perital.
Oh my god, look at that one. That's gorgeous.
That's ours.
Well, they're
What?
about 90% of the ships in here are the Montgomery Cartwrights. Other ones are used by other companies. They're sort of allowed to use the transport lanes.
So which one's yours?
Yes.
They're
That's
rich.
not an
We've got to move past this. Where's Bash?
Well,
They're
to be
rich,
honest,
rich.
Yeah, I hadn't really
Oh.
understood quite how wealthy your family was. It's think of the good they
Fairs.
could do with that money.
I'm well aware that's a lot of why I hate them. Where are the storage plaques?
the Soresplex. Round one of the sides, you would know it's going to take like 20 minutes to get around the building, but there's like a set of buildings. They look almost like temporary buildings, which are just used for, of varying sizes, that are used for bits and pieces. And you eventually locate the plaques that your friends are at, just in one of the smaller storage houses. And inside you see Bash, Stephanie, Krozan, Air, and Grime. For the rest of you, there's a human, a half-orc, another half-orc, and an Earth Genasi, which is an extremely rare sight. So that the elemental beings are very, very rare, and only come about through sort of particular circumstances and such. The only other one that you would have heard of is Flint, who was technically a fire Genasi, but a little bit different. So weird, but they're there.
We recognise Bash.
Of course, they're all sort of sitting in a bit of a circle, just on buckets, upturned buckets and things. And as you walk in, Maisie, you're greeted by all four of them at the same time, like a massive group hug. They're like, "Hey, look who's here!"
Yeah.
Very.
Energy doesn't match, but hug is.
They just like surround you as you're all sort of squinching and trying to find a space.
Luna will go up to Grime and be like, "Oh my god, you're beautiful."
Thanks. Just looks over at Maisie, just like, what is going on?
We hardly know. Her name's Luna. She said she was available to help, so.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't have brought her.
I'm sorry, that probably was really weird. I've never seen your race before, and I just can't get over how beautiful it is.
Okay.
Just because you find them attractive doesn't mean you should generalize it to everyone who looks like them, Luna.
She's struggling with that one.
I don't realize how beautiful you are. I apologize for saying your whole. I apologize for saying your whole race is beautiful, because apparently that's a bad thing.
Bash interrupts. Just okay. Highly unimportant
Hey,
details.
Bashy!
Yes.
Hello, Bash. How are you doing?
Well, it's been a day and a bit. Yeah. How did you get here in the end?
We flew.
Very expensive airship from Tetheran.
Oh.
But we teleported before that.
My parents are pissed. But
Well, I mean, what's new, right?
Wait, your parents are drunks? That's no good for a wine business.
Well, I mean, your father.
it's been a long ride.
Anyway, information-wise, I feel as though we should get to it. I'm assuming you haven't found anything in particular, Joni. There wouldn't have been much.
Apparently, my mom, maybe my dad as well, spoke to Franklin and Neva yesterday.
It's possible.
But I'd really
rather
not go talk to them about that if I don't have to.
Yes.
Can you come with?
I can. Before we decide on what we're doing in particular, the Zion. It's not in the air. In the shipyard. As far as I can tell, I've spoken to a few people, and luckily a lot of people around here are easy to bribe. There's no official notation of the ship leaving. It seems to have been taken against standard protocol.
It will.
Well, I don't believe it's sentient. We don't have any of those ships here. But it seems to have been taken against protocol, although it doesn't seem anyone's particularly bothered. I don't know this is necessarily the first time it's been taken out, probably by the family, without official channels, regulations, ship ways, those sorts of things. I don't really know where to go from there. It's probably trackable. I don't know if any of your parents' ships would have any kind of tracking ability. You'd have to ask some of the shipyard staff. But I would presume, from what I have, what we have sort of been sneaking around and finding out, it has been taken by Franklin. Where to is the part of this puzzle that we don't have.
Okay.
And no one thought that Franklin looked a bit weird. No one was like, "Oh, there's Franklin, and he's unusually,
Well, I presume
covered in chrome and shiny."
I presume he teleported inside. I mean, the ship that he's taken, it is possible, though ill-advised, to pilot it alone.
Wait, if he teleported onto the ship, then how do people know that he's taken it?
They don't. I'm presuming it would be evident. The reason people are not worried about the ship being gone is it is usual for Franklin or someone from the family to take the ship unofficially.
I see. They're not in on it. It's not become a bigger conspiracy.
As far as I can tell, they're not. Maybe they are, but it seems as though, yes, nobody's particularly worried and the ship has been removed from its docking.
Okay.
It'll be far away by now. It's a fast ship. So unlikely that we could necessarily catch up with it. We'd probably have to go to wherever it is. That being said, we don't know where it is. So
Limited places it can refuel, though, right?
yes, a lot of these ships will have a lot of fuel. I would say the furthest distance he could get in that, it's a very light aircraft, would be all the way to the north, possibly up to Ferron Minor, all the way down south to, Veluna, probably. Might be able to make it over the seas to the other continent, but that's a risky maneuver.
Well, there's 10 of us now. We each split up. We go to a different place that the ship could refuel. We find our own new gang of friends, and then once we find Franklin, we all come together and kick his ass.
This idea of constantly splitting up is a really bad idea. I mean, I really like you guys. You guys are friends now, and I don't want to lose you.
I'm not.
I just look at my bandmates like this is what I've been dealing with for the past 4 months.
Steph, I don't think you guys are seeing the franchise opportunities here.
Cromwell, stop breaking the fourth wall. That's not your character trait.
I got to admit, I did almost slip into Neva a couple of minutes ago when you said something. I always answered with oh, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, I'm not eating Neva at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to. It is much more difficult for me to ask questions about the ships around here without raising suspicion. Obviously, I'm a friend of the family, but I don't really have any clearance. I don't know if you have any official clearance, but I mean, you know a lot of the people around here, don't you, Maisie?
I know the captain of the Emperor well enough, at least.
You know some of the staff, because you'd be brought here all the bloody time when you were younger to learn the business and such. So there'd be some people you'd know, like General Webb.
But they'd know you more. They'd know who you were.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah, I could poke around and ask people. If I do have to go home, Bash, can you please come with me? Because at least they have more respect for you than they have for me.
Why don't we
so
take
maybe
everyone?
if you tell them...
Well...
did you say why not take everyone?
I'm down for going to your house.
Why don't we take your friends? Hello, I'm Cromwell. We haven't been introduced.
I'm Luna!
That's Cal.
I don't think the bandmates would be necessarily appreciated on the Montgomery Cartwright property.
Why not?
No, but it might serve as a distraction while some of us go and find the proof of Maisie's singular nature for her.
But they're Maisie's friends, so why wouldn't they be appreciated?
Because they're not rich. My parents
how
look down on
we're
anyone who's not rich.
Your parents
you know how
really
we're
are
here...
shit sticks, aren't they?
Yeah, they
everyone in chorus is just like,
Maisie's
yeah. Yep. Mhm.
You know how we're here to rescue Macy's sister, Luna?
I am aware of that.
Okay, so if Maisie had gone missing, they would not have sent us to go find her. But
Why not?
if they believed that Maisie was that Neva was missing, then they probably would have sent people to find her. Because they don't like Maisie.
Oh my god, your parents are shit sticks.
Yeah, they suck.
They like her enough to bring her back from the dead, but not.
That's
for
an
anything.
appearance thing. That's an outward appearance thing.
Political decision.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how much of that is like because of like being a shit stick?
There is a metaphorical dead cat we could throw into the works that would possibly distract
A
them
dead
enough.
cat.
It's a
Yeah,
political
sorry,
term.
what did you say?
You know, the political
Delicious.
term. There is a
Oh,
distraction.
yeah.
Lindsay totally knows it.
There is-
Rowyn does not know.
It's a term.
It's a common tactic used by the Tories over here.
Yeah, basically,
Makes sense.
it's basically
They kill cats over there
No,
all the time?
it's basically
Oh,
bringing
yeah.
up a second story so that the first one gets forgotten about.
Oh, yeah, well.
Remember a very long time ago, Maisie, when your parents were a little keen about you and I having a relation when we grow up.
Gross.
Ew!
Now,
They planned you two to be together.
they planned Franklin and Neva to be together. Now,
Oh,
of
that's
course,
so girl.
this was denied, and there is, as far as I'm aware, and I'm pretty sure on your side, no romantic relationship here, but it might just be enough of a distraction to bring that up. Not saying we should.
Oh my god, that you two pretend that you're in a relationship.
Yes. Well,
But we need to make that
the
believable.
Montgomery Cartwrights are unequivocally the richest family in Moonhaven. Well, in the country, possibly. My family is top 50 in the country. In Moonhaven, top 4. So it would be a very large political advantage for them, and monetary advantage, and capital advantage for us to make friends.
Wait, so as a distraction for what?
To then bring up and find out what's happening with Neva if they had a conversation. At the moment,
I'm not-
I have a strong feeling they're not going to talk to you about anything that's going on.
I don't know about a distraction. Leverage, maybe. Like, you guys will do that. But that only works if they A, believe you, or B, have some way of enforcing you to then do it afterwards. So I wouldn't pull that trigger unless you're willing to
Believe the
actually
word
do
I've
it.
said.
Mhm.
If we make it believable, then maybe that'll put you in good standing with them.
Well, what do you mean by
No.
believable?
I mean, for one, Jay needs to not be around. Because I'm sorry, Jay, those puppy dog eyes at Maisie all the time, very distracting.
She just looks up like, what? No? Huh?
It's a jackal, not a dog.
That was the joke that I had going in my head, which is why I was laughing.
I
Plus-
don't...
Maisie, you don't give me into Bash vibes at all.
Yeah.
Bash,
Listen,
I mean,
obviously, for people who have, any kind of realistic social ability, that's the truth. To them, they see the money.
yeah, but I mean, like, you don't even give the I'm doing this for the family vibes.
I don't know how to say this in a way that doesn't make me sound like an absolute ass bag.
You're going to sound like an ass bag. Just put it in the most clear way.
I don't think you come from a family with enough money to understand relationships that are purely for monetary gain.
Oh God, no! My parents, like my whole family, you fall in love, so you marry.
Yes, that doesn't
God,
happen.
no, God, if I went back home with somebody and was like, I'm marrying them for political gain, I'd be fucking disowned.
Which is the way it should be, but that's not how it works with these families.
We shouldn't necessarily
business deal.
discount your political value, though. If you want something distracting, so leverage of a potential relationship with the two of you. However, that's something that they're going to want to be able to enforce for it to have any impact. But Maisie, as the daughter of, in your words, the richest family in the country, possibly the world, turning up with the scion of a Lesduin and the heir of what was his name? Cal, your uncle's brother or whatever? Yeah, that guy. And the heir apparent of 2 other strangelings, along
it's
with
not apparent, it's actually true, but I'm good for not using that.
A powerful stranger from a mysterious faraway land with mysterious powers
who's a princess?
Who could feasibly, thoroughly be a disciple of the tubby furry one. The guy whose statue. We found a statue and it led us to the green orb.
Neither would know the name.
With you at that point.
What was his name?
I don't think any of us know.
Was it one of them?
He was like a tiger or something.
Yeah, I think yeah.
Oh, you want about the chef dude?
Yeah, the one that has like that giant flying tiger around him, whatever it is.
Oh.
Yeah, that guy.
The flying tiger. Oh, you mean the little cat thing?
No, the statue was definitely a giant, like a big cat with wings.
It had a flying cat thing.
A disciple of a strangeling, the heir apparent of a strangeling, the sign of a strangeling, and the daughter of. No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter if you actually are or not. It's the political capital of you turn up, and Maisie's like, I have a business venture to propose of the new strangelings, with me or Neva as their preferred choice, as the leader of this new venture, bringing in capital and spreading the Montgomery Cartwright name righteously across the world. But to do that, we have to have Neva back.
I will just say, I don't know, Purdy, if you were aware, but heir apparent is like an actual term.
Oh, I know.
Okay, good. Just making sure it's Luna that doesn't know that.
Yeah, no, it's Luna. 100%.
That's fine.
Luna.
Well, I mean, what do you think, Maisie? Would they go for it?
Sorry, what? As soon as Cromwell started going on like this long tirade, I just kind of looked into the middle.
Basically,
that's all right. We'll go with your plan. You fuck Bash for your parents' approval, and we'll see if that gets Neva back.
Okay, well, no.
Basically, Cromwell's idea was you turn up to your parents' house with me and Calais because we're part of the Strangeling's descendants.
And Jay as a disciple, because if it's just 2, it's not.
And Jay as a princess.
Okay, can I just say, even if that were a thing we're going to go with, there are no princesses of Gugarom because they have an empire.
That's why it's secret. That's why the assassins are after you.
For God's fucking sake.
Empires do have.
Yeah, and princesses can become empresses, right?
And princesses.
Or would you be a prince press?
But they haven't got one as far as
Gugarom doesn't know princesses.
Maybe the Empire overthrew the royal family. That's why you're the princess, and that's why you're hiding.
One big problem with all of this is that my parents will never believe a word that I say, especially if it involves any kind of respect on the Montgomery Cartwright name.
That's why it's not your idea. It's Neva's idea that she was waiting to tell them about. You've had to rush it because Neva's missing, because you can't move forwards with your special training given to you by the 1,000-year-old assassin, special strangeling professor. That's why we have been receiving extra help from an ex-strangeling's protege for our robots to get us the extra credit so that we win the Arliston Benfayal.
But will they believe Maisie when she says it was Neva's idea, or will they just say it's all nonsense you're making up without Neva here to back it up?
It's also very
Bash can help with that, because Bash, you're handy with a gun. Perhaps that could be something that Neva has consulted you on in secret of, do we need a marksman? Was there a marksman in the original Strangelings?
I don't know.
Well, Neva might. So, I think there was a guy with a gun.
Why don't we go ask her?
So perhaps you also are involved in this venture, lending us credibility as they're trying to remake the Strangelings in the modern Montgomery Cartwright image. But we need our grand leader, and I don't fit into this, so I'm going to wait outside or like.
I really don't get how redoing the Strangelings would do any good for the Montgomery Cartwright name.
People really like the Strangelings for some reason, and
I'm aware of
believably,
that.
Neva was super into the Strangelings.
Oh, do we have to say
Yeah,
that?
it's cringy.
I don't know if the Montgomery Cartwrights would care particularly about for the Strangelings. They were a large moneymaker, but they were disbanded. And now there's so many different guilds that make some money. I mean, the largest ones do make a fair bit of money, but I don't know if they'd care to try and remake.
Do any of them have the name recognition and 2 members of a Strangeling family?
Yeah, but
or the
the thing
backing?
is-
The Strangelings could be restarted. Plus, there's a
Anyway,
copyright issue on that.
It doesn't matter so much about how feasible it actually is at this very moment. We're not doing it. It's whether they believe that Neva believes in it.
Wow.
Thing is, though, both me and Cal are from Strangeling families, unfortunately. And we don't have money. And by the
That's
sounds
why
of
you
it,
need the Cartwright.
the Montgomery Cartwright family are money people. So they won't want to have anything to do with the Strangelings because they obviously don't make money.
I think we should all listen to what Maisie wants to say.
I already told them why I spent the money and why I was coming over this way. And while I would love to think that my parents are stupid, they're not. They're like maniacally intelligent.
Well, your father.
Well, yeah, not him,
Rude.
obviously, but like together. I don't think they're going to be deceived, especially not by something that I'm telling them.
Yeah, but you've already said that they won't believe the truth. I'm trying to come up with anything that I can so that I don't have to see you and
Well,
Bash kiss.
Let me ask you a question, Maisie. Who
Good
would they
kiss.
believe? Who would they believe?
Franklin?
Anybody else?
But he's the bad guy, right?
Currently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is in control from other people. Yes.
Anybody else?
They might listen to you, Bash.
I have some sway, but not a lot.
Question.
Mm.
Would they listen to other parents?
Depends on the parents.
Yeah.
And also, how good are you guys with either Franklin's parents or your own parents, Bash?
Franklin's parents are difficult.
I don't like Franklin's parents.
My parents.
How do you know them?
I don't, but I don't like people who raised Franklin.
My parents are.
It speaks to their character.
It's unlikely we could get my parents on board to lie to the Montgomery Cartwrights.
We wouldn't need to lie, though. We need
Well,
to
no,
get them to
surely we
understand the
need
truth.
them to tell the truth.
Yes.
Cal, would your parents believe? I mean, maybe they were. If your parents had not met me before, and I turned up on their doorstep saying that you had gone missing, along with your old flame, for lack of a better word, considering your family, from home, and that you were now half a robot and had abducted them, do you think that they would believe me enough to dedicate resources to it, or to lie to the head of the monastery about it?
No,
But-
but I think what they would
There
do,
you go.
but what they would do is they'd probably use something like a truth spell or something and find out what the truth actually was.
Oh my god, you
Oh,
have that!
Is that something that your parents can do, Maisie? Because that would honestly solve like all of our problems.
Sorry, say again. Spacing out.
It was Cal's idea. It wasn't even mine.
Sorry.
You should-
No, I've got a million ideas running through my head. What was it?
Cal said truth spells.
Oh, I don't think they have any protection in the home, but you'd have to like
I'm sure they can hire someone to do that, right?
Don't they know somebody that can
Sure.
cast a truth spell to then? So
Let's
when
go.
you're telling the truth, you have to tell them.
Sure, their lawyers can probably do that.
Great, let's go. You want to go with the truth? We'll go with the truth. They can hire someone to make sure there is a truth spell. Let's go. Which way?
I like that idea.
Well, that would also assume that they would even spend that time, because that... Oh...
You need to convince them. Tell them that if you're lying, then...
Yeah, tell them that you want the truth spell first.
Okay. Alright.
Great. Which way do we go?
I could also just talk to B. I really don't know if all of you should go.
I'm going to wait outside. Your parents already don't like
Hang on, sorry. Why don't we... Not that I want to necessarily split up as everybody. We can still go on
Splitting
two
up?
different routes. I can go to your parents and at least start a conversation. They may not respect me as much as some, but currently I'm sure they respect me more than you. You're the only person
I mean, they
here.
will respect you to set up their daughter with you.
Maybe I won't bring that
That's
up for
true.
now. We were younger. You were the only person, Maisie, who could currently speak to the staff around this warehouse, this shipyard.
True.
And the longer we wait, the more likely it is that Neva is hurt, that Franklin is hurting himself accidentally, or I don't know what that
Yes.
stuff's doing to him.
I only care about one of those
Okay.
things.
Who does Macy think would be the best person to talk? Like, who would have information even if they left without notice?
There's a few like workers. You'd be fairly chummy, I would imagine, with a couple of the workers who just like are vastly underpaid and once you like sort of breach the topic a little bit about shit talking your parents, would like whenever you're there kind of enjoy shit talking your parents with you. Just like younger employees who just sort of wander around. There's probably not many that are like higher up because, you know, the higher up they go in the company, the more dedicated they are. But there'd be some that might be able to, even if it's not legally, be able to like, you know, get you to some back spaces and such.
Sure. I'll reach out to some of those people then.
Bash says, all right, I will go to your parents then and start a conversation. I mean, it's a while to get there anyway. I'll get a cart or something.
Sure.
It'll take me a little bit.
Do you want anyone to go with you?
I'll get my sister.
Okay. Yeah, they love her.
Ooh.
So.
I want to meet this Lucy girl.
Maybe later.
Cool.
Okay. Thank you to your bandmates, to the
Yes,
the
thank you all. Thank
ass
you.
crack of
for giving me
chaos,
time.
was it?
Butt crack of
Butt crack of chaos. Thank you for your help. They were
Yeah.
just, you know, thumbs up. It's been lovely. Yes, Bash is gonna wander off.
We'll have to get together again sometime after all this is over. You tell us all about your adventures as a musician. Sounds fascinating.
We'll get Neva back and then we'll all hang out before we go back to...
Yeah, I mean, that would be good.
Oh my god, that sounds awesome. I really want to know about the band.
The butt cracks all give you a big hug. I'm sure you've got like a signature handshake, and they all head off as well.
Butt cracks!
And it's left with just you guys.
I don't know what you guys are going to do while I'm talking to people.
Oh, I'm sure we can amuse ourselves.
I'd love to find some money lying around.
Sure,
I can play my
whatever.
potions, it's cool.
Okay, it shouldn't be long, hopefully.
Okay. We'll just wait outside so that no one comes in here and finds us loitering where we shouldn't be.
Sure. Okay, I'll be back in a few.
You wander
Right,
around,
Careful.
and as you
I'll go to the break area.
as you walk in,
Probably where they're
Sorry, before you go, do you think it's worth doing the old mental link thing promo? So if Maisie gets in trouble,
I mean, I can do
Uh,
it, I think. Or is that my other
Sure.
character?
I'll
That's
make a
my other
mental link with
character.
you, Maisie. It will last 2 minutes while you're out of my sight.
Cool.
it's better
So
than
if you
Don't
get
sing
gonna
in my
get into
head,
trouble,
or
do it like super quickly.
Immediately.
So you wander around, and
Pulls out a Molotov.
you don't get to the break room or anything. You're sort of wandering around as you walk past. You walk past a couple people, and then you see coming towards you just very like the most plain person that you could know, like palish skin, brown hair, brown eyes, like 5'8". You know the kind of person that just doesn't have any features.
Yeah.
You recognize them. You can give them a name if you want.
Jerry.
And as you're walking down, they're just sort of like obviously bopping to like some music or something in their head, and as they see you, they're just like, Maisie!
Jer!
You know, it's how you doing?
Oh God, not this fucking accent. God damn it, Alex.
You know, it's been a while.
Well, you know, I've been better. Neva's missing.
Oh, Christ. It's usually you.
Yeah, taken by... I know, but that's normally by choice. She's taken with her shithead boyfriend.
Oh, no. Yeah, I've seen him around before. Go off in their ship and do rich people things, you know. Any
chance you'd see them do that yesterday? This time?
God, I wasn't around yesterday, but I mean, has been some words going on about the Zion going off, but you know what it's like around here. No one does anything about anything. It's all, you know, approved and all that. So,
could you help me out? I'm just trying to find it. See where Neva is.
I mean, there's nothing official that I've heard of, and I doubt it's in the books. You need a ship that's able to, you know, to track another ship, and you know the only ships that can do that are military ships. So, I mean, you need permission to use the. None of the ships around here do that. You know that.
The
You know, I love you, Easy, but my job is worth. Well, I mean, as long
worth
as
how much?
I've got a family to pay for. Well, I don't have any kids yet, but you know that I'm thinking about it. Ish. At least the missus is thinking about it.
I get it.
Right, I didn't tell you. Your parents have got to... There's a ship that they keep that's not legally registered.
Oh, I'm not listening. Sorry, what did you say?
I come this way. He like walks off and goes into like a little side storage room. It's just like, all right, they have a ship called the Guardian. It doesn't officially exist. It's a repurposed military ship. I've only seen it a couple times. You know, we're under NDAs to not tell anybody. I don't really know what they use it for. It's a massive thing, you know, like armor around it, and it's got the huge amount of firepower. You don't know that much about ships, do you? But it's a Judge. You know, one of those sort of like fast and big and mean ones. There a big gun on the front, big gun on the back, guns around the side.
You know, if there were more ships that looked like that, then I think I would be interested in it.
Well, there's a lot of them look like that, but they're all for the military. I don't know where your parents got one. I mean, it's just like it's an older ship. It's
well, they're shitheads, you know, so they'll get it where they get it.
It's an older ship. I mean, old-ish. I'd say, you know, a few years old, but I don't know how you'd go about using the equipment on board, but I guarantee that one would have the ability to track another ship, especially if you know its call sign or something about it. I mean, I can at least get you the registration number of the ship. Your best
Where do they
chance
keep this thing? 'Cause I haven't seen anything like that around here.
There's an entire section around over that way. You know, that on the back where there's like a huge like set of buildings that look like storage buildings. It's actually one big building stored in there. Big thing. I mean, in order to actually follow or get to where it is, like they'll give you the direction, but you'd have to get the crew to actually take you. I don't know if you could. I think the captain's name, she's called Captain Greywell. I only presume this because she's the only captain out here that I don't actually see pilot any ships. But she's on the payroll.
Okay.
Or at least rumors say so. Easy to see. She's a female half orc. You know, it's hard to miss around here. There's some other people, I think, as far as I know, because I mean, one of those ships. I'm not going to bore you with the details. I know you're not too bothered, but usually they go for these crews of 18 to 20. I'm pretty sure I've changed accent here. I'm pretty sure it's slowly gone from like a sort of Birmingham to a sort of Scouse. I'm pretty sure that it's they've modified it to be for like 6, a crew of 6.
I'm sorry, they modified it for what?
A crew of 6.
Oh, that's not what I heard. Sorry. I have to
So it can be done, you know, all of that stuff can be done. It's a massive fucking thing. The beauty of a ship, if you've ever seen one. Right, stick around. I'm gonna
Sure.
risk my job, of course, but I'll get you the sort of registration number of the zone.
Is there anything I can do to help make it a little less risky for you?
I mean,
I've got some extra hands if you need them.
distraction, basically. I've got to go over to the offices, get inside and look up some details.
All right.
Once I've got that for
I've got
you,
a few friends with me. We could definitely cause a distraction.
right, you do that. Once I've got that to you, there's not much else I can do. You'd have to, you know, work that one out.
Of
from
course,
there.
that's already far more than enough.
All right.
Thanks, Jerry.
Well, let's just hope I don't get fired over this, huh?
Oh, we won't let you.
Yes. I mean, if you had much power over this business, I'm sure it'd be run much better than it is.
Well, I mean, here's the other option is if by some way they do catch you, then I'll just burn the whole building down, and then.
Well, then nobody would have
Yeah.
any jobs. I mean, we might get minimum wage, but it's money.
Okay, I'll burn the whole business down and then redistribute it to everybody that's working for us. How about that?
I look forward to you doing that.
That's the backup plan.
Get out of here quickly. I've got to be doing stuff.
Sure.
I
See you in a bit.
won't talk to you again. I'll get the information. I'll put it on a piece of paper. I'll leave it in this room.
Okay.
Right.
Thanks.
And he just rushes off.
I'll go back to the group.
What's everyone doing in the meantime? What are you all sitting around?
Just mixing my potions.
Cool.
I did that. I did.
You-
And
You said-
usually, Cal doesn't really have any hobbies, does he?
Being religious. What's his
He
hobby?
can't.
You
be,
play
yeah,
Dragon Chess, don't you?
I do.
He just
I do
drops
that.
down to his knees and start praying whenever he's not talking to us.
I could do that. I could practice all my languages. Yes, Dragon Chess. He'll drag out his Dragon Chess board. Anyone
I'm
fancy
sure
doing
you've got.
Dragon Chess.
I'm sure you've
Oh,
got one of
right.
those mini ones that's like little magnetic pieces
Yeah.
that like folds out. It's
Anyone
neither,
fancy Dragon Chess?
it's neither that you usually play
Oh god,
against.
no! I hate that game.
Yeah, same.
You don't understand that thing at all.
Well, if you want me, I can show you how it works.
I no.
So, Luna, we don't really know.
This is called the Dragon card.
Callie and Jake off in the corner and start talking about Dragon Quest.
Luna, we don't really know very much about you. Like, whereabouts do you live? You know that you turned up in our flat. Like, are you a student as well?
Yeah, first year.
I think you said. I think you told us what you study.
May I just also add in, Luna, it may have tricked you, and you can decide this. They were talking about finding you in the middle of the when you were being bullied. You didn't know it was them because they were all in disguises.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, she wouldn't have tricked that.
Okay.
She was oblivious to that bit.
That's a very fair point. I've forgotten that. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that as well.
Everyone did, I think.
Luna was just like,
Thing
yeah,
is-
that happened to me. That happened to me, yeah.
Just dark, you know.
Thing is, if Luna had remembered, then she would have pulled it up there and then. So I'm just gonna have it if she didn't.
Sure.
She didn't register.
I can remember later. So it's
The most in the moment person to ever exist.
yeah.
Because the brain cell doesn't operate past that point.
Sorry, anyway, Joe, you were saying.
What are your flatmates like?
I don't have any.
'cause You're at the university and you don't have any flatmates? How did you wrangle that?
What the hell?
So what happened was, I had some flatmates, and they were being creepy and everything because of my last name and all that shit, and I didn't get on with them. I don't get on with a lot of people, and like, so I had some really bad issues, and then like I almost failed the first semester, so like money was involved, and I got my own flat.
That sounds awesome. Whereabouts is it? Are there more?
It's lonely.
Is it like a block of single flats?
No, it's on the ground floor of the first years.
I think first years live in lots of buildings.
There's only one apartment
Otherwise-
complex.
Oh, there is?
It's a huge apartment
So you-
complex. I've given you that.
So you're one of like 30 flats in our building.
There's more
basically,
than
then.
30 flats. There's some stupidly large number. Anyway, yes.
Okay, cool. Well, I guess we have some neighbours that I really don't like. So, and Maisie sometimes plays the music super loud. So if it's alright with you,
I've heard that.
maybe I'll just come and knock on if I need like a quiet moment. If that's okay.
Oh yeah, you're always welcome. I like you.
I like you too. What number so that I know where to go? Otherwise, I'm just gonna knock on every door and that'll be really awkward.
What number does down the bottom floor go up to?
Oh.
Just make it number 69 so we remember.
There you go.
Nice.
Number
G69.
Cool.
It's G69 because you specifically requested to be in that one.
Yeah.
Great. Sounds good. So the person that Neva hates, because we were interrupted. There's this girl next door. You know how I said that the flat next door don't like him. There's this girl named Gail, right? It's not Gail. It's one of her flatmates. One of them is very similar to Maisie, and is not very nice to Gail. And I think that Neva feels like she's kind of stepping on Maisie's like territory a little bit because she dresses the same. She looks the same. Honestly, she could be a triplet. It's uncanny, the resemblance.
It's touching on racism.
But me and Jay dress the same as Maisie.
I said earlier, there's no guarantee that Neva will like you. You're
But I
doing
get the
a lot for a
impression she likes
stranger here.
Jay.
Honestly, I don't think they've spent all that much time together. I've decided not to question why. It is mainly Maisie that Jay spends time with when she's not being dark and mysterious. Well, yes, obviously.
Jay's
but also
sitting.
gross.
Oh wait, right over there.
Jay's currently trying to
I forget.
not listen to.
It's all pretty gross, to be honest with you.
What do you mean it's gross?
Just people being gross.
I agree.
I
Period.
try not to think about it. Like Bash was saying about like having a relationship with, and
Is this because you don't want a relationship, or because you've never had one because no one's wanted to be with you? Because I'm feeling insecurities here.
Me, you don't know me very well. We'll chat. No, I just think they're all a bit disgusting. The exchanging of the it's
Exchanging of the
no,
what?
thank you. Just all of it. It weirds me out. It's a bit.
I don't know. I quite like having a person, as in like someone to connect with.
I don't want that kind of connection.
We've got Cromwell over here and Finoglius over here.
I know they're at other ends of the scale. Talk about a dynamic actor. Yeah.
It just. Yeah, it's.
I mean,
not of my interest.
I don't get the whole door shut business. You know,
What?
like the bit you don't do in front of people. I'm not that type of person, but like having a person around.
Yeah, I'm saying all of it. That especially, but all of it.
I would not have put you as like a anti. Actually, no. Yeah, thinking about it, I would. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
It's just a bit gross. You haven't really seen this very much. My magic manifests as tentacles. You would not believe some of the things people have said to me. There's nothing I can do about it.
So at that point, Maisie
It's
walks back
horrible.
in. I will also say, when Luna said, I'm not really into the whole doors closed sort of thing, I thought she was straight up to be like, I like public
Yeah, we all
nudity.
thought the same thing.
Anyway.
Maisie walks in at that moment when Cromwell's talking about tentacle stuff. It's like,
Yes.
You literally see like Luna licking her hands and then rubbing them on her head as if to try and erase it.
Yeah. And you wouldn't, and Maisie makes the most.
hey guys,
oh, hey, Maisie.
we've got a
Ew!
I know.
we need to
Now
call
you
the
know why.
distraction.
Oh, distraction! I can do that.
Yeah,
Where?
Hang on.
Where do you want
outside
it?
some offices.
I just want to finish explaining about the Dragon Queen piece, and I'll be right
Oh, I
It's
think
gonna
I
happen
guess-
like right now.
Right, I think I get it.
I can go do it. I'll do it. I'll go where?
I think, to be honest, just
Oh,
send it
the
out with her
offices are over
potions.
there.
Just send it out with her potions, you know.
Yeah, I can mix these potions together and make a boom.
Well, okay, it's more than I can do.
Okay. What's the plan, Maisie? What is the purpose of the distraction?
Luna's
To
walking
get
off
some,
to do the distraction.
to get some stuff for a ship that we can either bribe a crew or become the crew. Take control of a ship that can track the Zion. We just need the papers for it to not be super suspicious once we got the ship.
You might
Okay.
want to.
Are we going to your parents?
Probably not.
Okay.
Not if we can get
Let
the
Bash
ship.
know. That was all. Just tell Bash.
You might want to tell Luna where
Yeah.
she's supposed to be doing a distraction because she just walked off, and I'm terrified of her potions.
Yeah, I pointed her towards the offices. So
Well, let's hope she goes to the right place then.
Let's hope there's only one set of offices.
What is Luna doing then? Muting herself.
No, yeah, she's gonna wander over in the general direction that Maisie.
Give me a performance to like how confidently you walk through, so that people don't stop you.
15.
Yeah, fine. Everyone's doing their own thing. You walk through confidently, no one stops you. Plain sight kind of stuff, you know.
So she's
DC
gonna.
was 5 because nobody in this kind of work environment gives a flying fuck.
No, I rolled 2 dice and got a 5 and a 7, so you just.
So it was 5.
So yeah, she's just gonna walk over and smash 2 potions together that she knows isn't gonna work, and I'm gonna purposely roll on the
Yeah,
table.
roll a D1000. Just chuck a random set of potions together. Boom!
Oh boy.
Wait, are they even the right dice I just chuck? Why have I got
It's a
3?
D1000,
Oh,
right?
I need 3. That's why I've
Yes.
got 3 in there. 451.
Alright. Better than wants to scroll.
It'll be an invisible effect that causes no problems for anybody in any kind of radius.
Possibly. Or all
Um,
my hair falls out.
doesn't fall out.
Oh.
I'm going to exaggerate this one just for the situation, for a bit of fun.
Thank you.
Very a la, oh god, Elsie. Your hair starts to grow. And grow.
Oh, no.
Oh, fuck
And
off!
grow.
No.
And grow. And grow. Until it's just like bundled around you. Until you're swamped in your hair. And it just keeps going and going and going. And you hear people just going, what the hell is, what the fuck? Oh my god! There's
I
just this
start like making sure it's wrapped around
hair.
my arms and walking around going.
Wait, you can't even do that. You're so covered that like you can't see anything anymore. You know where you are. People are being surrounded. It's just going absolutely everywhere, just growing and growing and growing.
The legacy lives on. The hair rope lives on.
And it just expands outwards. And there's just like this 5-minute period where you're like, oh, I think I really fucked up this time. Like this isn't
Yep.
stopping. Before there's just like a moment where you're like, oh, I think it stopped. And then the hair just disappears. And you see a bunch of people just fall to the ground as well as you. Your normal hair stays. And just everyone just down to the ground. And everyone's looking around like, what just happened?
What did you do to me?
You just start making a scene. I was like, I don't know. What's you? I don't know. What's how does it? What's the...
What did you just do to me?
And you run off. I'm sure.
Yeah.
The rest of you start walking around the corner and just see this plume of hair. Just
It's like, that was very effective.
Not what I would have said we could do, but you know,
we don't know if it's worked yet.
it's true.
Well, that was like a good 5 to 7 minutes based on all that exchange. So if he needed longer than that, I don't know how he would have done it without it. Yeah. So, I guess I'll check the room.
Yeah.
That I said meet stuff in.
Wander around to the room and just sitting on a desk is a piece of paper, just torn off a notepad or something. It has a very, very long identification number on it, which you don't really care to read, I'm sure. It's basically just an encrypted code.
Cool.
And that's all that's there. It wasn't there before.
Awesome.
All
Got
right.
it. Well, that didn't take long, so Bash probably isn't even at my parents' yet. So I guess the next thing we can do is scope out this ship, see if there are people on/around it.
Nah.
Apparently,
Why would they have guards or anything around a hugely powerful hidden ship? Guards. Nah.
I don't know.
It's
Shall we?
fine. It'll be fine.
Well, we need
Wait.
6 people to control
Are you
what?
Are you wanting us to try and fly this ship?
Well, no. For some reason, I feel like Bash may have piloting training. That just feels like the kind of thing that he has. So I was going to be like, hey, Bash, do you think you can fly a warship? And then we can just...
I feel like he said that he didn't know how to fly a ship when we first broached the idea
Did
of
he?
getting on an airship. Did he not?
Did he?
I think he said that he's not.
I feel like he said that he doesn't.
Yeah.
I feel like he said he doesn't know how to fly one.
And even if he did, small ships, gigantic warships, maybe not.
Do I know the name Captain Graywell?
No.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Because sure, okay, we can sneak on board, let's say, but once we're there,
But it's
we
your
don't know how to fly it.
Maisie, it is your family ship, right? They will know who you are.
Yeah, but I'm not supposed to know about it, is the thing.
But they don't know that, do they?
Mm.
You could lie.
I mean, your
I mean,
family knows that, but do they know that?
The
If I had
thing
a
is
daughter
that
with a penchant for getting into
they'll probably contact my parents if I try to be like, I have to use this ship that my family owns.
Is anybody good at impressions?
Depends.
You could phone,
Yeah, I'm really good.
you could phone up
I'm
your
Cromwell.
parents.
I do a great Chris Rock.
Well, that's... Ooh.
Doesn't matter.
It's a rock.
Who's Chris Rock?
It's alright, doesn't matter. It's from Cortia.
What's the number 4 that that we had to call the distraction for? I'm very out of it. I'm sorry. I swear I listened.
The what now? The who what?
The number that Jerry risked his job for. What was that? What's that?
It's an identification number of the
Yeah.
Zion. So if you have a ship that is able to track, you can most likely use that and its call sign or whatever to at least get a direction.
Okay.
I mean, we're probably going to have to convince the captain to fly it, aren't we? Because I don't think any of us is going to do it.
I mean, I can give it a go.
Yeah, well, I could give it a go, but I think I'd probably get us all killed is the slight problem.
Well, I don't think they'll kill us, at least if they know I'm there.
No, I was thinking in terms of, crashing into a mountain or something.
Oh!
Well, why would you want to do that for?
Do we still have time to get into that office?
Why?
Well, no, because I've joined up with you unintentionally.
Oh yeah, would you even be with us?
Oh, hi!
You just come staggering over, just like, what the fuck just happened?
If we are able to get a hold of some kind of official letter or ordering or something that would like give orders, I can alter that. I just need to know what kind of thing it is so that I can do that. Let's see an example.
Well, maybe with this number we can convince them that we're on a mission for the family, because how else would we have this number, right?
Well, if we go in there in a rush and say, look, you know, Neva's been kidnapped, we have the address, the family sent us after her, we've got to get going quickly. Might work.
I mean, by the sounds of it, Neva's like the golden child.
That is true.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's up to you, Maisie. Well, you've got to make these decisions.
Yeah, you know the family and the family business coming with you.
Well, let's go see what we're dealing with at the very least first.
So
Go check out the ship.
you wander around to the back of this like giant storage bit, which it looks like
Hi, Rolo.
it looks
Pathetic
like
sounding, innit?
a bunch of like larger. I mean, they're bigger than any house. Individual buildings that are all connected, which you of course have been told that are actually one big building that looks like multiple. And there's a few doors around, just sort of unmanned doors to a warehouse kind of thing. Not huge ones for airships, small ones for people. That's about all you can see.
Okay. Yeah. Can I just...
You try and open the closest door. I mean, it's locked.
I mean... can I check it for arcane trappings?
Give me an Arcana.
Arcana. I'm so good at them. Oh. I surprised myself with a natural 20.
Damn.
I have a +0, so it's 20.
So I'm gonna go with knowledge of the building that you already have.
Yeah. And like knowledge of the other arcane locks that my parents have used.
This doesn't have arcane locks on it. You kind of recognize some of the ones that do. You've been told kind of around the building which ones are secure and aren't. This has never been flagged as one that would be particularly protected from an arcane perspective.
I'm impressed.
Cool. Then guys, cover me. I'm gonna pick it.
Sure. Roll me a picking.
Which is sleight of hand, I believe.
No, X-Prof.
Yeah. Which is sleight of hand. It's the same stuff. That is a 14.
14. It opens so ridiculously easy. There's like 3 pins and barely any locking on it. It's just like, okay, I'm gonna... What the fuck? You pull down the door handle, you creak it open, and it's just a brick wall. This is a fake door.
Can I put my hand on the bricks?
Yeah?
Dunk.
Give me... I mean, you touch bricks. It feels solid.
Well. I just look back at everybody else like, what?
I think that was a fake door.
Well, no, but this is like, if there was some kind of inspection, this is like more outwardly suspicious than anything else that could have been on the other side of this door.
Well, that makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, if they're trying to keep it hidden, the door's probably hidden somewhere.
Well,
I'm going to investigate, try to find a door.
I suppose we can... I don't know. Let's go about the building then.
Sure. Do you want to do just like a general investigation around this portion of the building?
I suppose.
Besides,
Okay.
muddy talks.
We all do one.
Yeah. I'll give Jay
I ain't gonna help you.
as well.
If you have enough of it, yes.
Jay got like a
8.
5. Oh, what did
I got a 3.
Well, hang on. Let's before you do.
I think that's exactly.
What's Cromwell's investigation? I'll offer him.
I'm going to investigate.
He gets a 5.
Roll the dice the first time. 14.
Okay, 18.
Hang
You're
on,
wandering
hang on,
around.
hang on. I'm going to give guidance on myself.
You're wandering around, and just to begin with, just nothing. It's just random buildings, nothing much to find. But eventually, Carly, as you're
adding my 4 on my D4, I rolled a 4 and I got 18.
you're just walking past, like you're not particularly percepting much. You just hear like a bit of a weird noise, like a clunk or something, and you realize it's coming from the other side of the wall. And yes, you can hear movement. There's definitely something going on in there, but it's a curiosity as to why before you couldn't hear anything, but as you're walking past this little bit of wall, suddenly like you could hear noise, like movement, people, engine, not like big engines, but like, you know, like hand drills and stuff. Just feels like a piece of wall, like, you know, corrugated metal type stuff.
Yeah.
With your 18, you only know that it's obviously. You can probably presume that it's thinner here than it was elsewhere. That's about as much as you've got from your investigation. You have to do something else if you wanted to
cautiously
find something else.
My hand up to the wall.
Sure. Yeah, you know what? That's fine.
So I'm looking at it carefully. Is there any sign of a crack or a hinge or?
$16. It's enough that when you come up to this wall, yeah, it's definitely thinner. There's definitely something going on here.
I don't know, percept.
But I can tell you confidently, you are confident with the 16 that if there's anything going on here, it's most likely magical. Not that you know if it is or what it is. It's just there's no cracks or seams or anything like that.
Times 16.
Can I try to push it?
Interestingly, Maisie, when you put your hand up to it, a section, like an outline of your hand, glows.
Yeah, keep your voices down because I can hear through the wall here.
Yeah.
So they can probably hear us. But there's something going on here, some kind of
Bleep.
doorway I can't open. Maybe
what's
a
the
magical
bleep?
one. I don't know. Anybody good with that kind of
Let
thing?
me put my hand on the thing that glows.
Yeah. As in, when you touch it, it glows around your hand.
Oh. I just push.
You push yourself backwards slightly.
Hopefully, somebody who's in the family is going to be on the.
There's a few seconds before, as you're going, what's going on? A out of nowhere slide opens on the door, and you see a pair of eyes. Someone looks through. It's like,
Hi.
Miss Montgomery Cartwright. We
That's
weren't
me.
expecting
Check
any
that it's not-
any movement
Not my
today.
domains.
It's an emergency. Neva's been taken by this ship. And I hold up the...
Hang on. Close it, and then just the entire, like a seam glows around a door shape before the whole thing just opens up. And yeah, it's just like a normal sized door, which for some reason makes like an air sound. And standing in front of you is a half elf, presumably half elf. It's kind of hard to tell with the ears whether it's full elf or half elf. Who's sort of just looking at you like, we weren't given any information about anything going on today. Usually,
Yes, you know, my parents are very busy. They sent me in their place.
well, I don't usually want to question these things, but I feel like I should probably I should get the captain to call ahead.
Yes, please get Captain Graywell.
Or to call your parents and...
No. Bring Captain Graywell here. I'm sure they'll listen to me.
Give me persuasion. Sure.
I'm so good at persuading people. Oh, dirty 20. I am, it turns out.
He's very flustered. He's just like, sure, step inside, quickly, as you all stuff yourself inside. It's very impressively sort of ornate in here. The outside is very like corrugated metal, very boring. The inside is like a massive workshop. You've actually sort of stepped onto a ledge that in front of you is sitting this gigantic ship lowered into the ground, so that you would be able to kind of walk straight onto it. It's this massively impressive ship. This very dark grey armor sort of shades all around it, very, very long. You can see at the front and at the back of these sort of dual-barreled, gigantic cannons, as in like modern star cannons rather than pirate cannons. One at the front, one at the back, and there's sort of all sorts of bits and pieces around. There's a few people moving around here, not many. There's the one that you spoke to initially, and then about 3 others that you can see moving. That's it. One's working over by one of these gigantic guns. Another couple are just kind of like doing general things you don't know what. And this half-elf that you're talking to steps away from you, goes onto the ship, just says, just wait a second. And then a bit later comes out with this female half-orc, who actually has an extremely feminine figure, one that if you walk around town you'd mistake for someone who's very dainty and all that kind of stuff, but is currently wearing like a sleeveless, it kind of looks like a real world admiral's jacket type of thing, but it's sleeveless, and you can see these very trim arms, not very tall. You'd expect a half-orc to be much bigger, probably only like 6 foot, which for a half-orc isn't much, but very trim arms, wearing quite, official uniform, who walks out and is like, I'm sorry.
Captain Greywell?
Yes. We weren't expecting any movement today.
I'm aware. There's been an emergency. Neva's been taken.
I usually would get a call from your parents before any kind of liftoff is authorized. The ship
Considering their daughter's been taken, they're a bit scattered getting other things in order and sent me to do that for them.
I would imagine the ship isn't prepared for takeoff. We'd have to refuel. The guns are currently being worked on, so the front guns are out of use at the moment. That's 3 days' work. The cloaking.
Don't mind them then.
Cloaking is a bit temperamental. No guarantee of that staying on. It depends on what kind of a trip. Is this a standard? Well, no, you said we're going after Neva. All right. If there's no cargo on board, we can go for a light load. Are we going to need strong armaments? What are we expecting here?
Stealth boarding another ship would be ideal.
Boarding another
ship. Our own.
Okay.
We have our own people that we're bringing. Pulling back.
That's fine. Yes. Okay. Give us 15 minutes.
Right.
If you want to go in and make use of the war room, more than welcome. We will get things going and take off as soon as we can. That timing may take slightly longer if the cloaking isn't working. Obviously, going for a stealth liftoff, but we should be okay to get going fairly quickly.
We're waiting on one more member, so be as prepared as you can. Should take them less than an hour to get here.
Looking for? They won't be able to get. They won't be able to. Alert the
I'll
door.
wait for them at the entrance.
Okay. Yes. And then she walks off and starts alerting different people to be doing different things. Eventually, you see 6 people moving around. Seems as though there's the captain, someone who's kind of like under the captain telling everyone what to do, a couple people that are just doing jobs, and then one person, in fact, I can tell you exactly who you see. Female half-orc, 2 humans, one masculine, one feminine, two half-elves, one masculine, one feminine, and then a bit of an odd sight, a dwarf, a masculine dwarf, but like half cyborg, which is something you would have vaguely heard about because it's a very old male dwarf. The war that was happening in Kugaram.
Yeah.
So many of the older dwarves are modified cyborg style war beings. It's very rare. It's very rare that you see the cyborg style dwarves outside of Kugaram, but this one apparently is. Yes. And of course, written along the side, this says, the Guardian.
I'm going to, send Bash multiple texts, just, to get his phone going. Just saying, meet at this warehouse, let you in, we're leaving in 15 minutes. Let's go.
You get a message back that just says, will not be 15 minutes, will be longer to get back. He's already, on the way in a cart.
Yeah.
It would take him 20 minutes, half an hour to get back.
That's fine. As soon as possible. I'll hold him off.
So all of these different people are rushing around. Of course, you don't really know the names of any of them, but you can pretend that you do.
But I'm going to pretend I do.
Exactly. You walk through to what you're directed to as the war room, which is this very, very nice room. Lots of comfy chairs. Not sofa chairs, but just nice dining chair style things that are all focused around this gigantic table that has a map currently of the continent that you're on, so the eastern continent, but you can see there's different buttons and things you can push that might show different perspectives, and there's all sorts of lines of different routes. This is wildly strange because you don't really know the routes that the wines get taken to, but why would they have a war room with routes that lead to...
I'm well aware this isn't for wine. Don't fuck around, Alex. We know. Absolutely no
It's
way.
protecting the wine. I don't know what you're talking about.
This is a later problem.
But yes, you go in there, and I'm presuming at some point you bring up that you're trying to track?
Yeah.
Sure. So,
who's in there with me? With the half elf again, or
no one's in there with you because they're all doing things. But before you go, I'm sure you can bring up to one of the humans. They're just we'll take this and have a little direction. And then, eventually, after a little while, Bash shows up, comes inside, and
text me to let him in. I let him in.
Then all of the crew, once you're ready, because they're ready a little bit before you, all group with all of you in this war room, and the captain speaks up and says, right, everything's good to go. We are prepared for a stealth takeoff. Cloaking is working. Front guns, unfortunately not. Back guns and side guns are working. Armor is all perfectly fine. The damage from last time was extensive, but we've managed to take care of that. The identification you gave us, looking for the Zion. We're tracking towards the northeast of our current location, over towards Ferron Minor. I can't give an exact location, that'll be when we get closer, but that's the direction we'll be going. I will say, though we are fast for a military ship, it's still going to take around 8 hours to get there. It'll be overnight. It'll be the early hours of the morning by the time we get there. It's probably now at this point 10 or 11 p.m., so it'll be very early hours by the time we get there, but, well, it's 8 hours with our standard routes. I presume we are ignoring international law as standard.
Yes, of course.
Yes. If you're ready, we're ready to take off.
Please, Captain, take it away.
So they all scatter. They go up to the what's it called? The main deck. I don't know what it's called. I do know what it's called, but I don't know what it's
the
called.
main deck.
Helm?
The helm? No, the bridge.
The bridge.
So they obviously all go up to the bridge. You're welcome to follow them if you wanted to.
Now that we know where they are, I think we'll stay down at the war room and start
Sure. So there aren't any windows in the war room to look out to see where you're going or anything of that kind of. But there is like the map will update with your location. You are here. But the weirdest thing is, you're expecting to hear engines spool up, hover engines spool up and sort of start floating upwards, and a door sound to open. You don't hear any of that. What you actually hear is a very loud sort of like mechanical sound, like a kind of noise, and then you feel the entire boat sinking.
Bridge, yeah.
Which are we in a sub?
It's
a magical submarine?
Down for a couple minutes.
It's the floor. Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
The whole. So the ship. Do you want to look out? Find somewhere you can look outside.
Yeah.
So you can see that you as a ship have gone downwards rather than upwards. Above you, this like sort of hatch closes, and you're just in this dark tunnel before some lights on the ship all light up, and you see the back engines start to spool before any kind of hover engines, and they only spool up a little bit, and the whole ship just starts moving underground, just like along some kind of a rail system for 5-10 minutes before eventually it stops. You feel the entire ship start to lean backwards as a hatch in front of you opens up. You don't know where the hell you are. And then you hear the engine spool properly. As in this hugely loud... These are... it's a different sound to the other engines. You don't know anything about these airships, but it's definitely some kind of different engine. It sounds much more raw, much more powerful. Also like a weird sort of like kind of noise going at the same time before you are launched, not particularly quickly. It's not like the other ship where you just disappeared, but there's this huge amount of power as you are launched forwards, straight out of this hole forwards, which you realize is like out the side of like a mountain, like off in the distance, as you are just launched into the air.
Is it called Tracy Mountain?
It's very Thunderbirds. As you there's a bit of a weird effect as you're looking outwards, because you look at all the ground disappearing, and then you realize that you can't see the bottom of the ship. You can see where you're standing, but as you kind of look outwards, there's no ship, kind of doesn't exist. Before you up into the air, go above the clouds, go way higher than you've been in an airship kind of before, and then it kind of slows down and you just start blasting.
Cool. Are we alone in this room?
If you go back to that room, currently, yes.
What the fuck are my parents doing?
Yeah, so, I mean, we were all here. You just might need to explain it to the others again of what's going on.
We're on a warship that my parents own for things that I don't know about.
This is for Joe, not for Cromwell. Cromwell was there through the whole thing.
Basically, you went round to where you learned that there's a hidden sort of bay for a ship. They found a hidden door. Maisie put a hand up to it and it glowed. They let her in. Maisie convinced them that they're supposed to be there, and then the captain was like, all right, well, let's get going. And then you kind of know the rest from there.
Okay, what do I need to avoid? Is there anything I need to avoid saying? Or rather, or blanket it. Alex, if I say something that I obviously wouldn't have said had I been here, will...
Yeah. The vibe generally is that you know you're supposed to be here.
Cool.
You're pretending that this is all very meant to be happening.
Cromwell's very good at that. Just do the Cromwell thing.
Your parents officially scare me.
Yeah, me too. I don't know what this is for.
Yeah, this went from like cool rich to like terrifying rich.
Yeah.
I mean, this is super your mum. If I'm not even convinced that your dad would know about it from the interactions I've had with him.
I don't think he does. I would be so surprised.
Isn't it obvious?
I thought you already
obviously smuggling. I mean...
This is not like a cargo ship sized thing, is it, Alex?
Oh yeah, definitely. It could be used for cargo.
Okay.
It's. Sorry, of course you went there. It's very big. It's like it's not.
So we are talking like Thunderbird 2-esque, like
yeah, except it looks like a pirate
can carry
like
stuff.
a boat.
Yeah,
that kind of airship that I've described before, without the sails, big engines on the back.
She,
but yeah, very big.
what she want this
More
for?
metal because obviously it's like a warship style thing. But yeah, if you get the feeling there's large areas that could be transporting things, not like as much as some of the wine.
I mean,
the official cargo
country
ships,
or
but there's still a lot of
something
space for cargo.
I think my mom's a supervillain. Mm-hmm. Well, in their other ship where I totally didn't snoop around, there was like things about artifacts from other countries. Yeah.
I don't know what the.
It's a problem
That's
for
awesome.
later, but I'm certainly not
Pretty sure
gonna
that the
forget about it.
authorities
Neva's
knew
gonna love to hate to hear this.
It's possible. You know,
Did we forget Luna?
I mean, I hesitate to suggest it. But
No, I'm here.
thinking,
Oh, hi. You were just very
That's,
abnormally quiet.
I mean, wine's quite an expensive commodity anyway, so
I
I
know.
mean, it's a bit overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's
and
kinda wanna
the captain
learn
did
what
say on the
made me
last
go
trip,
boom.
they obviously
Bash
both
speaks
got
up
in a
and
fight
says
of
it's
some
I believe very lovingly called a Reaper.
I
But they
love
have
that
the-
name.
They have these sort of proper terms for it. I'm sure we could find, but
It's
I think
yes.
that's what it's called. You'd have to ask someone who
Well,
knows about
certainly
the
you
engine. I'm
have
sure
anything.
one of the crew knows about the engines if you wanted to.
Well, I was kind of tempted to ask the cyborg
I would
dwarf.
have thought it's
I mean, I feel like
impossible
it'd probably
to
be
do,
insensitive, but I was going to ask him, is like there any weaknesses of
It's a
cyborgs
very
that we
pretty
should
ship,
know
very, very
about?
pretty. Very fast.
I just want to
Yeah,
know.
maybe not.
Like,
I don't know. That does feel kind of insensitive.
Yeah.
I want to know. I want to know about him.
You know what, Luna?
Oh,
You go ahead and ask about him.
Okay. She gets up and goes.
She walks on.
No. She switched off and is gone.
You wander out and see. You wander around a little bit, get a little lost, I'm sure, and eventually go out the back. And you see this this dwarf. He's just like generally. He's got a few like notes and stuff, and he's looking at these gigantic cannons at the back, and just sort of.
no,
It seems as though he's currently looking at like every single bolt, and then getting out a little tool, and measuring it, and then getting to the next one, getting a little tool, and measuring it.
They're
Not measuring the size, measuring the tightness.
You're not going to get a nice.
Oh,
size.
okay. I see.
And he's just working away at that. Doesn't really pay attention when you walk over.
But on your own,
She kind of just walks over and kind of does like jump to be next to him. Hi, sir.
Oh, Christ. Good evening, ma'am.
I'm really interested in what you're doing.
Oh, well, currently I'm trying to just make sure that everything's good. The front guns aren't working, so I'm absolutely making sure these do in case we need them in a fight.
And how are you making sure they're working? So I'm really into this sort of stuff, and I like making things, and like I'm really into all this stuff.
He puts the tool just in his belt, rubs his hand off a little bit on his little apron, puts out this gigantic meaty hand, and is just like, Gunsmith Tartarin.
Luna Bowling.
To give you like it just engulfs your entire hand and like shakes your whole arm. Like well, I'm just making sure that all of the bolts and everything, the rivets and everything are secured properly. There's no reason they wouldn't, but you're just making sure I'm going to be going through the mechanics, making sure the barrels are aligned properly. Later on, I'll be going to the consoles and making sure those are all, good. Just inventory as well. Lots of stuff to work on to make sure it's all absolutely tip-top.
So how does the control link up to these?
Well, on a standard vessel, you'd have a console nearby to here, or in a separate location under where you were. On this one, so we can have a smaller crew on the bridge, we've connected various screens and consoles to both guns, so I man the entire weapons array from up there.
That's so cool. And what was that tool you were using to measure?
It's just a standard multi-tool. It's me Titan bolts.
Oh, that's cool.
Things.
This is so cool. I've never been on anything like this, and so I am like really into all this sort of stuff. Like I currently just mix potions because my engineering and everything isn't that great. But yeah, all this is really interesting, and I really, really don't want to be insensitive. But I have noticed your modifications.
Oh well. A lifelong past is that.
Do they hurt you?
To be more specific, now that you're over by him, the entire one side of his face, it's not quite as smooth or aesthetically pretty as Franklin was. It's very fused and scarred where it's fused in different patches of obviously different areas of tech. And half of his head around his skull is all this metal replacement with one of the eyes. There's all sorts of things around it. You can see his left arm, he's got a hand that's that very classical, two big fingers and one big thumb. That's how it works. Different parts of his body you can see are under the clothes a bit lumpy and such that probably have bits and pieces under them. You can see on his neck there's scarring and such, just a little bit of metal maybe, and just scarring and marked. It's very crudely put together. You can see this is not a pretty thing. He says, well, these days, no, don't notice so much. Some phantom pains every now and again. Getting it done was a process, of its time. But like I said, a lifelong past. I was a much younger man when that war was going on.
If you don't mind me asking, do they give you any weaknesses or advantages?
Well, depends on what you mean by weaknesses. I don't know how much history you know about the, Kugaronian wars and all that kind of side of things.
I know a little bit, but I'm not knowledgeable in it.
Well, to be brief, of course, Kugaron, we were fighting a war to take over Lesdwin, and the countries around all got involved, Zen and all that. The war came to an end ultimately because we just couldn't keep up the numbers. It goes without saying that when you're in the state that I'm in, we don't exactly have families or children or anything. So we just, as we died, there wasn't much to replace. The officials will tell you that we came to a treaty and, it was for the good of everyone, but we were losing. Weaknesses are the same as normal, if my arm comes off, it doesn't kill me, I don't bleed, but I'm sure you could find some way or another to damage my components, freeze me up. Electricity's not great.
Well, I'm sorry that it happened to you.
Things happen. At the time, I was convinced that I was doing it for the right reasons for the country.
Understandable. I think I would do the same.
It's a life I've moved past. Many people have been hurt. I try to focus on different things. I like this job.
This job seems awesome.
Yeah, working on the weapons is what I'm good at.
Purdy really can't find what her lessons are.
I can see you keep looking at something. You're obviously trying to work out what it was. You're doing alchemical studies, blacksmithing, and arcane engineering.
Yeah, so I'm studying arcane engineering, blacksmithing, and everything, and this is just all really, really interesting for me. And I am so thankful for you being able to open up to me about the whole advancements to your body.
Well,
I know a lot of people can be quite... They don't want to talk about it much.
true, but it's easier to open up when you normally have a crew that dies on the missions anyway.
Fair enough. On that note, I think I'm going to go back to my friend. Thank you.
No worries. He just gets back to working.
Like, very hoodly.
Harley walks back. You guys see her walk back in, and she's just wide-eyed.
So how'd it go?
We could die.
I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like this was presented to you at the beginning. You said okay to that.
Well, yeah.
Jay's like, I literally opened up. My opening line was like, we could die.
Yeah, I know. It's more. So I was just talking to the gentleman, and said some important things that I will repeat after I've got over the initial shock of. He doesn't mind opening up to people because most of the time the crew don't survive.
Noted.
We probably will eventually, I think.
That. Noted. Well, I assume
Well,
they
the
normally
guns are
bring
really, really
mercenaries for
interesting.
whatever
I
reason.
really want to. I want to work on a ship like this.
And also, you have to shoot at people.
Well, I would have thought
Yeah?
That involves killing.
I mean, the captain obviously does, so I suppose keep it up near the bridge sounds like a
Yes, so
fair
yeah.
idea then.
Maybe you would fit in.
What do you mean? Maybe I would fit in.
Well, you seem unbothered
Well,
about
hopefully this time we're
killing
not going to
people.
be doing whatever they normally do,
It's
which
not-
involves...
I'm unbothered about.
Whatever they
I
normally
am
do with
bothered about
guns and
killing
things.
people because, like, I would hate the idea of killing anybody like you guys, but
Yeah, but the problem with being on a ship
if
with
it
guns
came
in it is
between
that people tend to shoot at you.
saving you guys and killing someone, or you guys dying and not killing someone, I'd choose to kill someone.
Which
I mean, we've killed lots of people, so I think we're all pretty fine with it.
I'm talking more situationally. You see, in those cases, survival of friends and family, it's more understandable. Not that it's exactly wanted. This is more. I can't imagine a ship like this doesn't become the aggressor to. How do I put this? Parties that aren't expecting a fight.
I wouldn't want to do that.
Your new dwarven friend may seem nice. I don't imagine you'd want to
Yeah.
enter a conversation about how much she's willing to kill people to make money.
Why would you kill someone to make money?
Luna,
Let's
you
not
gotta
get
think.
attached to this crew.
You got to think big picture, Luna. You don't want to be on a ship like this. You want to be on the ship that replaced this. There's no way,
Give me that.
connected as they are,
If you're on a ship like this,
The-
with big guns
this
like
ship
this,
became
you're going
available
looking for a
to
fight.
wine merchants and smugglers
Anyone
as the top of the line range. It was either stolen or bought. And if that's the case, the security on it wasn't good enough. That'll be because there are ships that are better than this.
So I want to join the army and work on the new ships.
Yeah.
That's how some people make a living.
You just got to figure out which army it is that made this.
I will look into that. Yeah, he was in an army that was losing, so they gave up. You guys would have won. Actually, people. Yep.
But then you'll be forced to be involved in killing. I mean, that poor chap you were talking to, he was in the army.
So
Yeah.
anyway, yeah. So he told me that if his arm comes off, he won't bleed because obviously it's
That's
got
right,
no
he was
blood
fighting
supply
lesbian, right?
or anything like that. However, if he got hit by electric, that would
Nobody
fucking hurt
won.
him.
Everybody
I'm pretty
lost someone he
sure-
loved.
Maisie hit Franklin with electricity and it didn't
No,
do much.
we would have
Wow.
won by
But then the technology on the
We
dwarf
would've
would be a
got
lot
a-
older.
a good result. But
Yeah.
you know, everybody lost somebody.
Oh, I wonder
Every
if
family
acid
lost
would
somebody,
work.
everybody
Like,
family
surely
lost
that would
something
be a way of
important.
the...
Nobody won.
I mean, some people like acid, but
Then if it's got acid coating on, then that wouldn't work. No,
Exactly.
that might not work.
just for you would be aware that the Cougaronian War or the Cougarom incursion ended 50 years ago. It started 250 years ago.
Ah.
So, you know. Dwarves lived to about a couple hundred years, and you know he obviously would have been fighting towards the latter part when they had all this
They
technological
must be
stuff.
200 years old now, probably.
So I'm thinking if I get some of these potions ready, they might work. So yes. Well,
100 years.
I can make one that does acid, but I don't know if that would work if he's got an
Being a
acid
dwarf,
coating on the metal,
dwarfs, they have
which is
components.
quite high. Yeah, so the likelihood. But then, depending on the components inside everything,
Yeah, well, I bet
I
that.
could possibly use frostbite and freeze up the component.
Not to drag on this day very much longer before we sleep or anything, but there is an element of this that we haven't talked about.
That would be a nice change.
In this rescue plan for Neva, we are presumably going to have to kill Franklin, right?
That would be quite interesting.
Probably.
Because Nick
Maybe not.
was incredibly resistant to the idea when he was initially kidnapping her. So is that something that we're happy to do? Negotiation, I think, is not a viable strategy here.
I think we do everything we can to avoid killing him, but I am willing to admit there is a chance, of course, that the only way to disable him is to at least put him in a state where he's never coming back.
Not necessarily. We might be able to just disable.
I hope so, but I don't think we have the tools for that.
Yeah, if we haven't found a way to do that on this super advanced warship, we ain't gonna figure it out.
We don't even know how he's made. What he is.
We don't know how he's teleporting. Like, we don't even know if we can stop him doing that when we find him again. Like,
well, most likely we want to go over to Hydra for that, but yes.
Well, we might be able
I
to
think the
just
best way of
disable him
trying
in
to
some way.
disable
Perhaps
this by
somebody can do something for him.
I appreciate all of you being very positive about this, but we should all be prepared, just in case.
You seem like you are good friends with him.
oh, this is his
All
best
we do
friend.
is
for
just-
some reason.
He's not my best friend. We were close when we were young, and
If we can
are.
just disable him and take him
We spend a lot of time
back,
together.
I mean,
He is.
Would he
back
be the
at-
best man at your wedding?
Moon
Maisie.
Haven, then we can sort him out.
Firstly, I wouldn't be marrying Maisie. Secondly, I don't know. Weddings work differently. They'll be. If he was, it wouldn't be my choice.
Then he's not your best friend.
I don't know if the friendships I have from the situation that I come from can ever be truly trusted. Apart from Maisie and Neva. I trust them.
That's shit. I'll be your best woman.
It's kind. It's hard to make friends when you have money.
I don't care about money. Well, I do, but not in that sense.
Either way, I don't want him to die, but if he is too far gone, it may be best for him and for everyone else. I will admit that. Of course, it's the last resort. It's always the last resort.
I have a somewhat serious question. If he were to die, would you want to be the one that does it, or would you prefer one of us to do it?
I don't think this is going to be as graceful and scripted as theatre would imply. If somebody needs to and has the chance, they may need to take it. If you wait for me or for some ideal situation, he might teleport away, he might hurt someone else, kill someone else.
I get that. I was just thinking if there was a way that, say, obviously I'm new to everything, so like, if I were the one to kill with it, would it make it easier for everyone? Like, I'm not saying like I would jump in and kill them, because I'm not that type of person, but like,
death is never easy.
In the situation where he needs killing, just whoever can do it, do it. I think that's... We're not going to have the luxury of time with this, considering that he can teleport wherever he wants at presumably any moment.
We need to drop him as soon as we physically can.
okay. Because like, other than when I was getting beaten up when those people helped me, I've never really been in a fight.
Just throw your potions. Something will happen.
Ha! Cool.
We should rest. It's a long journey. We haven't slept. It's late.
Sure.
Okay. You'd be guided to some like very simple kind of like bunks. The style where there's like 3 beds like embedded into the wall with like a little curtain. That's about as much as you get. There's no real privacy. But you know, it's enough to sleep on and get not that any of you particularly need it, but get a long rest. And waste away the night. It's about 7 hours later, unless any of you get up in the night. When
I think
I think Maisie,
good idea.
I think Maisie sits there and tries to connect to whatever that thing is in her head.
Okay. You sit in the darkness, and you're slowly getting used to the fact that you don't get pure darkness anymore. You get this very, very low light glow coming from your shoulder, unless you like fully try and cover it and smother it. And you sit, you relax, you close your eyes and try to connect. Is there anything you say or think, I guess?
I think until there's if there's any kind of connection, the only thing she's thinking is maybe you were right.
So as usual, when you're alone, you don't feel like you're alone. There's always that feeling of someone watching you. It's just been constant at this point. It's never gone away since you were brought back. And you don't necessarily get a conversation, but when you're thinking like, yeah, you were right, there's like a sort of satisfied, it's not a nice feeling. It's not like, oh, that's really nice. It's more like if you see someone give an evil smile at someone else's pain, kind of a happiness. It's like a almost excitement that death might be coming. Not for you, for other people. But it's just a bit of a feeling. There's no like conversation in that.
Yeah. Okay, that's all.
About 7 hours later, there's a rather horrid and disturbing, like, kind of alarm that you're all suddenly startled awake by. As one of the half-elves come through, is like, all right, time to get up. We are about half an hour out from our location. We have identified a much closer approximation of where we are going. And you, I presume, want to get ready? It seems like he's used to people jumping out of bed, and none of you really have.
Yep. Good to go. Just
there's some food just through there. I would get going fairly quickly, as I would assume would be normality for you, and get prepared.
Is the target docked, or are we boarding from the ship?
I think it's best you come up to the bridge.
alrighty.
You'll have some coffee, get ready, get changed, get all your weapons, and go up to the bridge. And the bridge is this amazing sort of technological section, all sorts of panels, all 6 people sort of working away at the panels and doing different things. And this, again, giant panoramic kind of screen, but on the screen, or through the window, sorry, there's like all sorts of elements like focusing in on things, information coming up. It's very very high tech. The captain greets you and is like, hello. Advancements since we last spoke. We are heading to a small island off the northwest of Ferron Minor, which immediately would spark for you, Maisie, as it's probably one of the von Benningham's private islands. It's like an area for that kind of thing. We are tracking a ship. It is not moving. It is either landed or stopped in some capacity or another.
All right. Well, stealthy approach. We don't want to be seen arriving or leaving, so.
Buttons are pressed, different things, lights and stuff flashing, and there's this like sort of sound as a cloak goes over. And as you travel closer and closer over the sea, you see this very small island standing alone in this beautiful sapphire ocean. But something is most definitely wrong. Maisie, you're used to, or what you would expect to see is this beautiful tropical island. Your parents own a few as well. Palm trees. This one in particular you've probably heard of, or maybe been there. It's like one house. It's a very small island with a wooden house atop a hill, very fancy, with all sorts of beaches and stuff. And you do see that, but what you aren't particularly expecting to see is the plumes of blue-grey smoke just coming off the island. From a distance, you can't tell what from, but it's going really high into the sky, spreading out. There's some kind of gigantic fire or something going on. And as you get closer and closer, you can see that on one of the beaches is just a completely crashed and destroyed airship, the Zion, which is just pluming out this smoke. It's just on fire. This must have been on fire for like days, if it's still going on at this point. This is wreckage, this horrible, like I say, blue-grey smoke. And as you get closer, you can see that inside of the smoke is this like blue-green electricity that's arcing every now and again, sort of lightning between the different plumes and such. And the captain speaks up and just says, "We cannot go anywhere near that smoke. I don't know how close, but it will eventually fry the engines.
Just on the island if you can."
We cannot go on the island. Your best bet at this point is we go high and you jump off."
Do we have something to help us land?
Of course, parachutes.
How do we get back up to you?
Well, we weren't expecting to have to do any kind of teleportation or short range. Most likely what we'll have to do is go a little bit away, land in the water, and come over using, usual conventional ships power. We'll still be using the engines, but it will be more likely to come under the cover of the smoke. But we will need to analyze that smoke, see how it will interact with the engines, see if we can use the engines. We have a whole process that we'll have to go through before we can go anywhere near it. If we fly blind, there's a chance we go down.
We could also attempt to put it out before.
If you can, that would be great.
I would
avoid going anywhere into the smoke, though. It is probably not safe.
Yeah, well, we can keep you updated. Do you have a talk zone number that I can contact you at?
I'm surprised you don't have it already from your parents.
They didn't. It was very quick exchange. They just told me where to go and took the number.
Sure. Not a talkstone. I'll connect you directly to the ship.
Alrighty.
Gives you a little sort of contact and says, "Oh, right. We'll start going up. You hear engines spool, and you just start rising up and up and up and up and up and up above the clouds. Meanwhile, some of the other people are getting out these rather nice-looking backpacks, effectively, that they start strapping, teaching you how to... Well, initially they give it to you, sort of like expecting you to know what to do. And you're like...
I'll mentally connect to Maisie and go, what's a parachute?
I don't fucking know. I don't know.
So you're just like handed these things, and then they stare at you as you're not putting them on. And one of them's like, "Have you done a jump before?"
This is my first mission.
Land operations only.
I'm more of a naval warfare kind of person.
Fucking Navy, of course it is.
Is it like doing a dive bomb into a swimming pool?
No.
This is her first mission too.
Yeah, well, of course you don't know what you're doing if you're from the Navy. Fine, he takes one and says, right, you want to put this strap under here, under the legs, this strap goes around here, these straps go over here. You have 2 handles, the red one, the yellow one. As you're falling, pull the red one. Depending on how close to the ground you want to be, the higher you are, the longer it'll take you to fall. The lower you are, the more likely you are to die. The yellow one is a reserve. If the first one doesn't work, use the second one. If the second one doesn't work, scream very loudly.
What happens if you pull the yellow before the red?
It'll work, but the reserve is less precise.
Huh, okay.
Yes.
How many seconds should we count before we pull it?
From the height we'll be at, considering sizes, if you go for a standard drop, I don't know how many seconds it would actually take. Seconds. If you're trying to go faster and dive bombing, more likely seconds.
Are you going to fill the thing with actual numbers?
He's going to look it up afterwards and totally fill it in.
Yeah,
totally.
Maybe.
Okay, great. No follow-up questions. Let's go.
Okay then. So
where are we dropping, boys?
Yellow first.
Jumping out.
See that?
Suit up!
Oh, red first. Okay.
So,
He's
Maybe
Navy
gives
as well.
you the most powerful of all death glares, Kyle.
Kale.
Kale.
Luna will grab Carly's hand and just like, come on! And she pulls
he
him with
leads
her.
you up to the front, and you stand over the edge, and you get to like the front, and he sort of like releases, like slides part of the siding, and you're just looking straight over. The clouds are actually quite far beneath you, so you can't see the ground. Just clouds. And as he does that, and sort of obviously releases some of this masking that these ships have, there's some of this like blast of air as you sort of the pressure changes from where you are to the outside, and it gets really cold. Okay.
Push him first.
You have our contact. Jump when you're ready.
Come on, Cal. Luna will grab Cal's hand and jump.
Peace.
You all jump.
Jay, have you got a parachute?
Oh yeah, Jay just like backflips off.
Cool. Maisie, you going?
Maisie's already gone.
Maisie's gone. Yeah.
Cal and Luna's already gone.
So it's just Cromwell left
And
alone
Bash.
on the ship. And Bash. Bash, are you going?
After you, my friend.
Okay.
But okay.
You jump off and he dives after you, and you just start immediately, like this cold goes through you as you're just going down. Your face is all blah, 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 blah. A very unique experience. Carly, your fear of heights coming into here, you zooming down, you go flying through the clouds, get all wet from it. I don't actually know how. And then
Luna will try and keep her hand.
you probably do lose that at some point. But yeah, you get
Yeah.
beneath the clouds, and then suddenly, oh look, there's the ground. It's very far away, but it's coming towards you faster and faster and faster.
Oh my god!
Going down and 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 down. when you all get to the right sort of height, you pull the red, and there's just this like this blue little sheen of like energy just out of you as a feather falling spell localized to yourself just sort of
Nice.
hits you, and you just
Nice. I was like, are you actually going to use physical parachutes in a world
that's
with
okay, don't
featherfall?
This is personalized featherfall. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
As you land down onto the ground. Now, I
Oh my god, that was so amazing. I love it.
I know that you guys want to go, so we're gonna. I want to quickly go into Tailspire so you can
What
see what's
chord?
going on, but obviously we're not going to start anything yet.
Red. Oh yeah.
So
We should have checked if jackals can see color or if they're like colorblind. Like other
again,
dogs.
while she's not a jackal, you brought this up last time. You already tried to check this when she was like, Maisie had red eyes, and you were like, "Are you sure you're not colorblind?" So you are on the beach. You hit, and it's really warm. It's tropical weather. There's palm trees. There's lovely sort of tropical plants all over the place. The sea sort of brushing up near your feet. Carly, I'm sure your knees are trembling.
Gosh, it's hot as balls. Jesus.
And you can see.
You thought
Who's
Luna
Jesus?
was hyperactive before. She's like a fucking energized bunny and a 2-year-old on sugar combined.
You can see.
Come on, act it out for us.
Up a, does she need to? Up a hill from yourself, you can see.
Up a hill from
house.
yourself. It sounds like an insult.
You can see a house. Let me find the where it is. There it is. Now,
Now.
there's a house up on a hill. I obviously haven't done a hill because Tailspire doesn't do hills. But Maisie, at this point, you'd probably fairly well remember
Yes.
you have been here before. Not that you particularly like being around here.
Is it a place I'm meant to be able to see right now?
Not currently, no.
Okay, cool.
So
I've been here?
it's one of these summer houses that when you were younger you would have gone and like had these holidays or like
Ew.
spent. Yeah, exactly.
Neither would have
Gross.
dragged you here.
Gross.
So there's a few things that I will give you that you notice from a distance. But the first thing I want to ask you: do you want to approach this house? Because you can go anywhere from the hill, from the back of the house, the sides of the house, or the front of the house. You can't see it at all yet, no.
Based on me being here previously, do I know which has the worst viewpoint? Like,
So-
if you're at the house looking
Fair
out, where is the worst view?
You would know that the back of the house has two gigantic, like glass door sliding open kind of windows. So the back of it
Yeah,
is
don't want to
very-
go there.
and balconies and such like that. Bear with me just a second. You would say the least, the place that has the least visibility is like the front on the left-hand side, because that is where the
I can't
staff
see the
kitchen
house.
sort of place is, and it's not got any
Cool.
windows.
That's where we're dropping then.
Sure. So I'm now going to pull you over to this, and you are going to see all of the house as a blueprint, because Maisie's going to be like,
Someone-
"This is how it looks."
Stream it because my tailspine's not open.
That's fine.
Streaming the music, so I cannot.
Joe, you are not.
I haven't reopened it since getting my computer back on.
Fair enough.
I'm happy to wait till next week though.
Whatever's being
Yeah,
streamed.
Purdy, we're just looking at it right now. I'm not even going to be putting this in the video.
I mean, it's up to you. I think it's really pretty. So
I'm not here next week, so I won't get to see it.
it's true.
There's a decent chance we'll still be there.
Anyway, you approach
We're
up
not
the
playing
house.
next week.
Give me a perception as you sort of approach the front of the house. You can see, as from here, the front of the house, the design of the house is this lovely, like, mahogany-esque wood with designs and such around. It looks from the outside very like wooden cottage, but much bigger. But then, as you can see through windows and stuff, it's very fancy on the, like, very fancy on the inside. For those of you on the board, the second floor is over to the right, because I don't like putting second floors actually on them. You can't see
It
them,
is really.
even if you try to use the down slider. A vague description. The bit you're coming up to, you know, Maisie, is like unwindowed, but it's It's the kitchens. It's where the staff make the food before they are forced to go outside and back into the dining room. There is a canopy.
Damn, bro.
A canopy style, or like a sort of tent thing that's out the back that covers a bunch more tables, a huge swimming pool out the back, and the general layout is front entrance with a stupid statue, study to the right, like a lounge type thing, living room to the back right, and a dining room to the back left. And then the second floor is mostly just bedrooms and balconies and things like that. Coming from the direction you're coming from, give me perceptions, yeah.
Dirty 20.
Nice. So, as you're approaching coming up the hill to the front of the building, there doesn't seem to be any obvious movement, at least not like this sort of initial percept. You haven't seen anything through the windows coming from the front. There are, however, some lights on the ground floor. There is also some smoke coming out of the chimneys, so you can presume that somebody might be here at the moment. From the front, you can see that the front door
21
has been bashed in. It's a double door, this lovely like glass in the door. It's all smashed and broken open. And you got a 20 and 21? Yeah. You can see through that front door, especially from this like side angle you come at, that inside of this front area, there's very out of place blue rectangles, or should I say metal rectangles with blue glowing on them that's kind of pulsing. There's a few of them just sort of like on the floor. Very mismatched to the general look of the place. Technological of some kind. If you're trying to get like particularly close to the building, you'll do stealths, but we'll probably do that next time.